Hi there folks, welcome back to RRTV for the final part of this 10-hour endurance race at Road Atlanta for round 5 of the Australian Endurance Championship. And in the last couple of hours we've seen some cars going up the grid and quite a few going down as well, haven't we, Adrian?
Yeah, we certainly have. It's been interesting since we've been away, so yeah, it's crazy stuff out there today, and it hasn't settled down at all one little.
Yeah, that's for sure, and we can see on screen at the moment one of the cars doing it rough out there, the Tryhards Racing HPD1, currently sitting in 8th position and running around there without any nose.
Yeah, so it's down to no quick repairs left on that car, so something that we predicted was going to happen at some stage, possibly even retirements, but guys are still out there trying to race around. Yeah, it's going to be a bit hard for handling, but at least they're trying to finish the race, I think.
Yeah, that's right, they're hanging in there for 2 hours to go. Looking at our classes, the top 3 in Class A, well, the 177 Trans-Tasman Racing was Michael Healy driving that car at the moment. They've taken the lead of this race in the last 2 hours. The big news was the 104 was leading, but they ended up getting a penalty, which has pushed them out of the lead, and that was for barging. So having a look at that, I'm just trying to get that error up, but maybe Adrian can look at that while I'm here we go. They got drive-through penalty plus maximum time plus 10-second hold. That was the first one. They've also had another one which is going to be looked at post-race. So the 104's got a bit of a cloud over it at the moment. They're currently sitting in 3rd position now, so they've dropped back. They did have a lead of 1 lap, so that's cost them, and they're back on the same lap now. But the 188 Team TTL with Sam Sutton behind the wheel, that car was in trouble earlier today. They're finding themselves up in 2nd now, so they're one of the movers and shakers in Class A.
Yeah, a lot of trouble to start with for 188, and has managed to claw its way back up into 2nd position, so not a bad effort. Got a long way to go still. I think they're around about 30 odd seconds behind the leader, but at least they're still on the lead lap, and they might have a chance of getting on that top step.
Yeah, well, they're on the podium at the moment with 2 hours to go, and the race has definitely come to this team, and hopefully they've shaken off all that bad luck. For the statisticians out there, we've completed a total of 348 laps here at Road Atlanta today, and the 177's led for 63 of those laps. The other cars to have led, the 104, they led for 69 of those laps, and the 130, that's the I think that's a Boost Juice entry, they have led for 110 of those laps. So as the race is going on, we can see we've had about 3 or 4 different leaders tonight.
Yeah, it's been up and down with leaders, which is good to see, and you know, it's been one of those weird and wonderful races we've had here today, and I think it's basically the track has brought its issues to the front with multi-class racing. It's definitely a difficult one for the boys to race around here, but you know, like I said earlier on, I think it was more about patience, this track, and I don't think too many of them had patience so far.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there that need to practice their patience, that's for sure. One car we did see without a nose earlier was a Carnet TDR 137 entry. That's sitting in 6th at the moment, and looks like they've used a fast repair on that car. The other one, the Redback Racing 119, this car got as high as I think 4th when we left earlier today, and they dropped as low as 9th at one point They're sitting in 7th at the moment and trying to recover that car. They're actually a lap down, or 2 laps down from the leader now.
Yeah, still a good effort, I think, working their way along. Having some issues as well, possibly, but not a bad effort, I don't think, Bernie, working their way up. Looks like they've just taken a position there now from GT Omega, unless it's just dropped off my screen, and there they go up to the 2nd, so with the telemetry jumping around. Oh yes, they would be in 2nd because Team TTL are in the pit.
Yeah, so looking at Class B, that is currently being led by Synergy Sim Racing. Michael Schreier's back in that car, so that's the number 200's leading. And on the same lap is the 228. So that was, what's happened to 226? They're down in 3rd and 2 laps down at the moment. But I think the 226 was leading earlier when we went off air, and they find themselves 2 laps down and in 3rd position. So we have the 200 leading, followed by ERA's 228, the Logitech sponsored car, and then their sister car, the 226, 2 laps down, sitting in 3rd position at the moment.
Yeah, just a little bit of move around there. Good to see that Synergy Sim Racing car is up near the pointy end of the field there, and once again only running around on no quick repairs left, so they've got it tough for the last couple of hours to see if they can bring this car home.
Yeah, and we've seen how quickly things can go south around here. During the break there was a collision between the Swift Racing team and Carnet TDR in Class C. Fortunately, they both kept those cars off the wall and continued on their merry way. And just before we went on air, we saw a fairly nasty accident with one of the slower GT3s out there.
Yeah, that was a very angry group of cars, and fortunately the poor old GT3 car got just tapped and got spun around. So yeah, it's just a little bit of still an issue here with the guys being very aggressive into their corners and probably taking a little bit more than what they need to at the moment.
Yeah, it's been like that all day, hasn't it? Since the race started this morning, it's been quite a tumultuous race, I guess you could say. They've got their rhythm, but I tell you what, they're not holding back on taking prisoners out there at the moment.
Yeah, they're certainly not, are they? They're very hard races today. That's making probably poor decisions, I suppose, on where they're going to overtake. So that's accounted for a few of these issues today, which is a bit of a shame. It's a tough track, but we did mention that patience is a key for this race. We haven't seen a lot of that at all.
No, not a lot of that at all, that's for sure. And Class C, though, at the moment, well, Frieda's back up front. So all the mad cows out there, your car's leading once again in Class C. They are 1 lap up on the next person in Class C, which is a 343, and that is One Performance Racing. So the mad cows have managed to get that car with 1 lap buffer now over everyone else in GT3. And then we've got the 343, Dylan Shepherd driving that, and then the 351 with Marty Atkins currently piloting that car. It's an Audi up into 3rd position.
Yeah, not a bad effort there at the moment. Obviously with the mad cow running well up front there, it's doing a good job. But good to see the FSR guys, TPR Engineering, doing a good job there in 2nd place, and Oceanic Sim Racing, they've had it pretty tough from the start of the season. We've seen them get caught up in a lot of stuff and just generally have a bad run throughout, but good to see they're in 3rd at the moment, and same with the Swift Racing boys. Good to see them sitting up there, so they've definitely come on pretty strong. in the last few races in this series.
Yeah, they definitely have, and the Swift Racing boys, they were up into third at one point. They dropped down to fourth, and as I said earlier, they were involved in a bit of an incident. Fortunately, they didn't damage that car, but I tell you what, they've been in this series for a very short time, but they've found themselves up at the pointy end pretty quickly, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have. I mean, it's good to see the support that they get at the moment. They sort of get they're a satellite team of Mad Cow there. They get a little bit of assistance from Mad Cows with a little bit of setup and a little bit of coaching as well. I believe that's what was going on there with those guys. So it's good to see that in the community, and they've done so well, and so pleased with their efforts so far in this series to come from in a situation, and Tony Clark for Sim Racing just mashes the wall there, Bernie. That was big.
Yeah, I saw. I thought that was a 228 that was into the wall there. No, it wasn't. So, who was that hit the wall?
Oh, I just lost the number there. That was a massive hit, though. That was unbelievable. I'll just try and see if I can pick up the car again.
Might have been Jeffrey Glisson.
Oh no, it was Tony Clark there, Bernie. It was car number 230, so the Synergy Sim Racing number 3, so 230, car number 230. Just, wow, that's massive.
Yeah, so we can see the aftermath of that car now as it limps into the pits, and that's going to be pretty costly for that car, because they were positioned, were around about, they're a fair ways down now, but they were a lot stronger earlier today.
Yeah, they've been putting around there, they're putting the laps in and doing a great job, but yeah, that's a big op here. He's coming into the last corner here, and he's out wide, and he's touched the grass. And once you've touched the grass out there, he's let a HPD through, and braking on the grass there it's not going to pull it up on the dirty stuff, and headed straight for the wall and smacked it pretty hard. So has been able to keep going, but yeah, it's not looking pretty, that car anymore.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the replay up. He's also got connection issues going on with that car, but it looked like he was trying to get out of the way of the 188. And as you said, he's smacked that wall pretty hard. He's probably lucky that he hit the tyres and not that concrete.
Yeah, unfortunately it looks like it's in the pits as well, so it's in getting repairs, but he'll probably be there for a while. I would assume, Bernie, it probably run out of quick repairs as well, and it's going to be sitting there for a while. But yeah, you're right about connection issues. He is dropping in and out, isn't it?
Yeah, he certainly is. And speaking of cars dropping out, the list continues on our retirements. The cars that we have lost today so far, we know the 112 has retired, the 311, the 118, the 368 have retired from this race tonight. So we've had we're still down to 4 retirements at this stage.
Yeah, it's not too bad for retirements. It's just one of those races today. I'm actually surprised that we don't have as many any more retirements, but you know, still a few out there, and a few guys just trying to drag these cars home, I think, tonight. But
yeah, there's definitely a lot of bruised cars out there and probably drivers as well. One car that is making inroads at the moment is the Car 100. They've actually got one of their laps back, and they're now 3 laps down, but they're sitting in 7th, so it's great to see those guys up and running. And I did notice Reece Gardner was out previously, so he must have got that hardware failure fixed.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when you can get it fixed. Nothing worse than getting some sort of failure on your behalf. Like you said, it's a hard thing to take sometimes, because you feel like you've let your whole team down.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's pretty much out of your hands, isn't it, when you suffer those sort of failures?
Yeah, it's a hard one, because in this sort of series you're racing with other guys, and you don't want your equipment to fail on you to let the guys down, and yeah, it can be a tough one to take.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the 132, which has come through from Race Control, this car has been given a drive-through penalty for ignoring the blue flags for the car 137 when it was trying to get past.
Yeah, very interesting in that fact, which would be the first time we've had one of those. I not think we've seen one of those.
No, we haven't seen one of those up today. I don't think that's the first one, and maybe that's just Race Control reminding all the drivers that they are watching, and yeah, this car will have to do a drive-through.
Yeah, it's I understand they're trying to race as well and trying to get through, but you've got a quicker car, you've got to try and let them through as well. But it could be in a situation where there was a lot of traffic, but if we weren't on top of that at the time, and if Race Control's told them that they've got to come in, well, that's what they've got to do.
Yeah, and that was actually lodged, a protest was lodged against that car, so that's why they got that penalty given to them. And for the viewers new to this series, we do have a live Race Control, and all the drivers or teams do have a way they can lodge protests during the races. Race Control does receive those, and they do review them in real time, and either make it post-race or issue a penalty once they've reviewed the footage.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job too, I think, Bernie. It's a tough gig being a Race Control, and obviously it's generally clear cut when you get the penalty served to you straight away. They see what's going on and understand what could happen, and other times they go, yeah, well, we'll have to check that one out, and that's why they're a post-race call, because they want to make the call properly and get a second opinion or third opinion from other stewards that check the incident at hand. Yeah,
that's right. And there's two protests currently being reviewed. One is on the 104, that's GT Omega Racing, and one is on the 229, that's LMTI C7. And they're being reviewed at the moment, so it looks like the first one's for contact with the 314, that's 104 on the 314, and the 229 protest is for contact with the 340, and we'll update the viewers as more comes to hand.
It's been working with the Australian Endurance Championship, hasn't it, Bernie? We get a lot of feedback through Race Control while we're calling this, and that's why we can keep the viewers up to date with any of these penalties come in. So if they're wondering what's happened to their car at any stage, we can get on top of it straight away, and they've got an idea what's going on. So it's great working with these guys. They put a lot of effort in, and once again, two guys sitting there for 10 hours today getting this sorted. It's been a mighty mean effort.
Oh, it's great, and for the viewers out there, we've got a direct link to race control, so as the penalties are fed in to the system, we see it come up live on our screens. So the 104, they have been issued a drive-through penalty for contact with the 314, and the 229 has also been issued a drive-through penalty for the contact on the 340.
Yeah, so we've actually had their reviews on some of those, and they've voted on that, which is, like I said, it's not an easy task here, and there's only 2 of them doing it at the moment, so a lot of work going on, and they are receiving these protests while it's all going on. So, hats off to Scott, and I'm just trying to remember the other gentleman in there at the moment, but I did see his name up there, and I've got it just here, just at the tip of my fingers, and that would be Brennan. So thanks, mate. You're doing a great job out there, and it's not easy doing these sort of things because you're always in the firing line, aren't you, Ben?
Yeah, well, you don't make many friends, do you? And it looks like the 229's in a bit more trouble here. We'll see what they're going to be issued with something else at the moment, and for an unsafe recovery. So it's getting from bad to worse for this car as they come in to serve their drive-through penalty. But meanwhile, up the front here, Trans Tasman Racing, well, they've been leading now for close to, well, they have been leading for 79 laps of this race. The only other car on the lead lap with them is the 104, who's been issued with a drive-through, so that's going to definitely work into the hands of the 177 tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a short lap around here. Like we did mention earlier, the total time spent in the pits is just as longer than it is to do a lap, so it's a costly error if you've got to do a run through the pit lane. So you think the guys would have figured it out by now that it's costing them more to get penalised than it is to try and keep these cars clean.
Yeah, so you can see there they've just served that drive-through penalty now, and they're coming back out onto the track. The 227, we saw that car, it did serve its drive-through penalty, but now for the unsafe recovery it's now got to do another drive-through plus a maximum pit time. So for the viewers out there, that's basically they've got to stop for the length of time it takes to have a full service on that car, as well as a 10-second hold after that. So that's a 229 with Neil de Bruin in that car, so they're going to have to come back into the pits.
Yeah, that's quite a lengthy stop. Just checking, T3s are 1:28 in the pit.
Yeah, so let's have a look down in Class B at the moment, so we make sure all these classes are covered off. Zach Hanlon at the moment behind the 228 Evolution Racing Australia, and if the viewers are wondering why that's a blue livery, well, that's because they've got a new sponsor on board in that car, and they've got Logitech, so it's great to see Logitech backing ERA, and these guys are starting to get quite a number of good sponsors behind them, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are, and I mean, the way they go about their racing, and when you start to win championships, you're going to attract these sponsors on board your team, aren't you? And they're going to want to be a part of a winning team, so that means their brand gets advertised a lot more. So that's definitely helping these guys a lot as well, is winning championships in different areas of this sport, and doing a fantastic job of it at the same.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed in the years since we started broadcasting here, is Originally, the top teams had one sponsor, and some of them had no sponsors. But now, some of these top teams are attracting, 2, 3, 4, or maybe even 5 sponsors. So it's great to see all the different businesses coming on board and backing this great e-sport of ours, and it's great to see it maturing.
Yeah, for sure, Bernie. It's it is something big. It's broadcasting is something that's going around the whole community now, and these sponsors are seeing the value in putting their names to teams, and we've got Boost Energy, and it's not expensive. I mean, you compare sponsoring a team on iRacing compared to real world. I mean, the dollars are astronomically different, so it doesn't cost these guys a lot, and definitely a decent investment for them.
Yeah, exactly, and it's great to have selby.com.au sponsoring this great championship as well, and I'm sure they're getting great value for money as well. And second, well, we were talking about them, Boost Juice, they're the only car at the moment on the lead lap in Class B, them and the 228, so there's quite a large gap between them though. Let's have a look live. 5.6 seconds is the gap, so it's not as large as I thought it was going to be.
And I believe that Synergy Sim Racing has actually had an extra pit stop at the moment. They're up to 10 pit stops, and Evolution Racing Australia car has actually only done 9 at this present stage. So there's a little bit of pit strategy difference there. So I wonder how much that's going to play into it at the end of the race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, won't it? And I'm trying to work out what's happened to which one was it? It was, I'll work out the team in a minute. And Nutters Motorsport Green, I think it was, they were leading earlier today, but they appear to have dropped off the top 5 from what I can tell.
Looking now, Bernie, I can't seem to find them at the moment.
Yeah, I might have been hallucinating it, but I'm pretty sure that car was up there, and they definitely were leading earlier today. I'm just trying to find where they are on track at the moment, but for the life of me, I can't find them.
Yeah, okay, I've got Nutters Motorsport Green in the HBD, car number 116. Quite a number of laps down, I believe, at the moment, Bernie, and in a really bad position at the moment, trying to make their way back through, but they've got a number of laps down. They're 68 laps behind the lead.
Yeah, and this car earlier on today led for the first 101 laps of this race, didn't it? And at the moment they're a long way down. They're what is it? It's a lot of laps, let's put it that way. Unfortunately, so that car's definitely been in the wars. I think we've got them down 68 laps at this stage.
Yeah, 68 lap, 6th position, so something's happened, and what can happen is if the teams are struggling, like they don't have too many teammates, they could actually drop out, lose internet connection, and then they're all on their own. As at the moment it looks like we've got Rick Summerhays and Try Hard Racing 334. They've had a spin out of the S's there at turn 5, and he's on his way again, but I think he's looking a little bit sad and sorry there at the moment, Ben.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find him on the telemetry here. Yeah, he's looking very sad and sorry, isn't he? And he's just trying to get that car back around to the pits. See if we can work out where he's gone wrong here.
Yeah, maybe the engine's overheating and he's decided to take the bonnet off and try and put some extra cooling on that engine just to make sure he can get it home without blowing up.
Yeah, well, that's the last thing you want to do is pop the motor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I found a little trick on that one. If you can turn, got your button set up to start the motor, generally you can sort of get that car re-fired as he's decided to take a shortcut here and make his way up to the pit lane, and hopefully he can get through there without anyone not sighting him as he gets in there now. It's really a tight line, isn't it? The racing line's right there as you enter the pit lane, but he's got into pit lane, hitting the wall, so yeah, that car's a little bit sad and sorry. It would be interesting. I wouldn't suspect they've got a quick repair, so this thing might be in the pit lane for all.
Yeah, I'd say it would be, and we've seen a few cars limping back to the pits, and fortunately they've managed to be able to drive these cars after these big hits most of the time. And just having a look at how long we've been racing now. The last, when was it? Just trying to get the last safety car was on lap 241, and that was brought out with the 334, which we've got on screen at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite a while ago, considering the way the racing's been going, so a decent amount of time, and it looks like it's around that time for some of these guys to pit with all these safety cars. Yeah, it's throwing the pit strategy out, and they're coming into pit now, so a few guys have just rolled with the flow and just kept racing the way they are, so it might have saved them at least one pit stop. But yeah, it's just interesting how it's panned out. It
certainly is, and at the moment the 188 is right behind our race leader, Michael Healy, in the 177, and if Team TTL get past them, which it looks like they're going to, they will be back onto the lead lap, so that could have ramifications. The 177 doesn't want them, but they've got to yield, and that's let the 188 through.
Yeah, there's that aggressive moves there by the HPD of the 188. I mean, that's what we've been seeing here today. They've been very forceful, haven't they, HPDs, and just one of those things today. It's not just the HPDs that have been forceful either, is it? It's been quite a number of cars that have been doing it. It's just now you got three cars trying to get in here. GT3, C7, HPDs around the outside. Oh, that's going to look messy.
Yeah, we've got Swift Racing in front. The 177, our race leader, had to just settle in there a bit, which he did, but that's released the 188, Sam Sutton, at the moment. And I'll tell you what, Michael Healy did go to defend that position, but short of making contact, there wasn't a lot he could do there.
No, sometimes, unfortunately, you might have to, yield that position. It's just, I know it's something you don't want to do, but sometimes the guy that you're racing with is probably actually a little bit quicker than you, unfortunately. So, you've just got to let those guys go, and let's hope that, as a driver, you're just hoping, well, if they're that quick, let's hope they make a mistake and it'll catch them out. And there was a big catch out here, Bernie. We're going to have to try and figure out this. There's another accident again, just coming up here into turn 2. So a lot of action going on in this.
Yeah, it was one of the rack corp entries there, and it looks like it possibly was Nutters Motorsport Green involved in that incident. And I tell you what, Sam Sutton had to part the waters there. He had cars going left, right and centre, and he was fortunate that they all got out of his way before he arrived on the scene.
Yeah, just caught the issue. HPD was trying to go underneath Brand Tucker there, coming up into turn 2. Not sure. realistically, I don't think there was room for him to be up there, and obviously looking at what I can see here now, he wasn't far enough up there, and he's caught the back of that C7, and yeah, then obviously it's turned all messy. Even Wayne in this HBD got loose because of braking so hard to try and miss, and then oh man, just craziness after.
It certainly is. We're seeing the super slow-mo here, and look at the 1880s. I tell you what, he was very lucky that the cars rolled each way, or else it could have been really messy.
Yeah, and we've also had the second place getter in Class B involved in that as well, taking evasive action and running down that side road as well. So it just wasn't. Oops, going the wrong way with my lap counter here, naughty boy. Yeah, so that was quite interesting. That was crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was the Synergy Sim Racing boost juice entry, I think, having to go down the slip road there to avoid any carnage. We also had a GT3 off leading into that corner, so yeah, getting a bit messy out there.
Yeah, so a bit more excitement for the viewers, a bit more excitement for us, and a big headache for race control for sure. It's something else that they probably don't want to be doing at the moment, but as it looks like we've got more action here, and a little bit of dust flying here into turn 2 into the S's, so action aplenty for sure. And oh man, this is some crazy driving out here today.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you can see the race leader here flashing his lights, trying to get past one of the rack corp entries, and looking at their lap times, it's rather interesting. The leader last time through did a 1:14, and that's because he's caught in traffic. But on the free road, he's when he's out there by himself, he's lapping at around about the 1:12s. Now, Sam Sutton, he was lapping in the 1:10s. And that last slow lap he did a 1:12, so he's actually gaining about 2 seconds a lap on the race leader at this stage.
Well, I think the race leader there just caught up a little stuff there getting into turn 10A, which is the last chicanes coming up to the straightaway. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, and we're on board now with our race leader, and just so the viewers can see how much traffic these guys have to contend with.
Well, the race leader nearly gets into a C7 there, and then you got the Carnet TT7 that was closing in at the time as well. So just getting crazy stuff around here at the moment. And also, viewers, don't get me wrong. You know, some of the stuff that we're broadcasting at the moment, even race control is watching this a little bit as well. So if they miss something and we pick it up, they're on it too as well. And geez, I can tell you what, Bernie, this is crazy stuff here. We've still got traffic on this lap. Poor old Michael Healy's just stuck in the thick of traffic at the moment. This is crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, and he's showing a lot of patience, isn't he, as now he's diving down the inside. He should clear these two cars, and that'll free him. But I tell you what, nearly 3 wide into that first turn, and one of the C7s have taken to the grass down there.
Yeah, I think he went to the grass because he was just so nervous with the HPDs coming up down there, and it's given them a little bit too much room there. So yeah, it can be a bit daunting sometimes, can't it?
Oh, it can be downright scary sometimes if you're in a slower car with these guys around. But you just got to, you know, stick to your line, as we've said earlier today, and these guys will find a way around you, and it's easier for them to find their way around than the lower class cars because they've got a lot more downforce.
Yeah, exactly right, Benny. Like I said before, I think if you're a slower car, they need to stick the racing line and let the HPDs run around.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the Carnet TDR, the 137, has just passed the race leader. So now we have 4 cars in Class A on the lead lap here. So if a safety car comes out, it's going to get mighty interesting.
Well, if a safety car comes out now, TDR there, they've on the lead lap, so they'll get through there, and they won't have to worry about being a lap down, which is be good news for those guys anyway. Anywhere from 4th to 2nd, they'll be happy. They'll be looking for a safety car at the moment, so they can get that catch back up to the leader, and it make an interesting race for sure. With what we've got, an hour and 20 minutes to go, so we're just over an hour and 20 to go. So yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting if something like that happens.
Certainly will. And looking at the lap times, the leader is lapping in the 112s, but second place, the 104, their last lap was a 112. Sam Sutton's was a 111. So he's starting to pull out 0.5 of a second that lap, and the 137, they've also pulled in 0.5 of a second as well.
Yeah, it's also, yeah, they're running at 111s as well. That was a 111 too. So you know, the pace is there in that car.
Well, it certainly is, and they showed earlier in the race they had the pace. Like, that car has led today, and they've led for a total of 5 laps. So no doubt they're looking at wanting to lead this race again at some point.
Yeah, I think they're looking to try and get some more points. I think you know, they are leading the series, but they've had a tough race today, so the incident levels are definitely up on those guys. That's how they've got the lead of the championship, just being nice and clean. But today it's just been a hard race. But I'm sure nearly every team on this track today have got a lot of incident points against them.
I'm sure there's a huge amount of points that they've tallied up here, and Zach Hanlon's still in the 228 here in Class B, and this car's looking fairly comfortable at the moment, and they've got Michael Schreier though. They're 6 seconds down the track from them, and it looks like so I was going to say it looked like there was 3 on the lead lap, but there's not. There's only 2.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, isn't it, get those 2 cars out there on the lead lap in their class. You know, it's two combatants, the ERA and obviously the champions from last year. So doing a fantastic job there, and it's good to see the competition in that series, and I'm sure they're 1 and 2 in the series.
Yeah, and the gap there, 5.2 seconds with an hour and 21 minutes to go, and both on the same lap, so all to play for. They've got 2 laps up on their next competitor, and that's the sister car of ERA, the 226, down there in 3rd. But I tell you what, ERA's pretty much been 1st and 3rd all day in this race.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job, aren't they? Getting these cars to run and to be up in there with their drivers. So it's good to see, and you know, it's a class team. So just one of the teams out here that are doing a fantastic.
I'll tell you what, there was a close call there coming into the S's. The 228 actually sideswiped one of the GT3s there. We had witches cones flying everywhere, but fortunately both cars got away with that. But yeah, that could have been very costly.
Oh, these penalties are getting handed out a fair bit, aren't they? Just another one coming through there now. So I think this is just as bad as Bathurst. I think there, mate, with the way this race has gone. Yeah,
well, at the moment we're up to 78 penalties have been issued today, and including the post race. What's the latest ones? We've got the 131 Tryhards HPD has been issued with 2 drive-throughs plus a warning, and their sister car, the HPD2, the 132, has also been issued a warning for unjustifiable risks.
Yeah, just going through, having a look at these penalty systems at the moment there, Bertie. I just can flick through quickly. Doesn't look as bad at the moment. So far the worst one that I've seen actually is our 12-hour sprint Sebring. It had up to 80 penalties handed out in the 12-hour at Sebring. So we're getting there. It's not a laughing matter, but yeah, it's wow. You know, I thought Bathurst was bad, but I think today we've actually outdone Bathurst for penalties just about. So that's saying a fair bit, considering Bathurst was 12 hours as well.
Yeah, Bathurst was the other very messy race, I guess you could say, and this has definitely been up there today. It really started being messy though on lap 1, didn't it, when we had that first crash lap 1, and then the safety car dilemma, I guess you could call it, for the next however many laps that went for, 12 laps or longer.
Yeah, it was something that was getting sorted. I think there was a few things that got changed through iRacing, and once again with this new update that we got recently, I believe there was a few changes, and we haven't raced the AEC since that, so a few new little teething problems for the guys to get sorted, but you know, you're not going to find out how they go until race day and get it sorted, but still doing a great job there, getting it sorted and got it figured out. But yeah, it's been a crazy race.
Yeah, it certainly has, but one car that's had a pretty good race, and that's the Frida. This car, it's been strong all day, and with the lap up on the rest of the field at the moment in Class C, not going to put the mocker on them, but it's looking like it might be another mad cow day here.
Yeah, it's good to see actually. It's probably this track really suiting this BMW, just the way it's running here. I'm certain it's BMW. I just need to check everything, but I'm pretty certain it's BMW. It looks like the BMW.
Yeah, it's definitely a BMW, and he's got some connection issues going on with that car at the moment, but hopefully they'll settle down for him. It was interesting earlier today, it looked like the Audis were going to be the car to beat here, but it's over the long term it just seems like the BMW is, it seems like it's a more drivable or consistent car, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, the biggest downfall I think has been noted and plenty of times by us and a few of the drivers, it just doesn't have the straight line speed. And I mean, we only got one fairly large straightaway here that it's going to suffer on, isn't it? So basically it's probably the best for cornering and such the likes there, so we're definitely suited for the BMW around here, and it's doing a fantastic.
Yeah, well, they're 1-2 at the moment in Class C, and the other car that's challenging them at the moment, that's taking over second, is a Mercedes. So 2 BMWs and a Mercedes in the top 3. I'm just having a look, I think the first of the Audis is Oceanic Sim Racing, and they are some 3 laps down from the leader at the moment.
Yes, something that we thought was going to fruition for the Audi, and it's turned the other way. The BMW is fairly strong. I mean, you know, nothing to take away from those mad cows. They're definitely a team to beat, and got the power there to get through. But just to see the Mercedes as well finally get its way through as well. So they're doing a good job there in that Mercedes in second.
Yeah, and that's One Performance Racing at the moment, and they're about to come through to put another lap on Oceanic Sim Racing Looking at their lap times, they're pretty much lapping at about the same pace at the moment.
It looks like the Swift Racing boys are in. They've had their pits, so they've done a pit stop at the moment. So gone through there and done a pit stop, so they've dropped back down to third now. So yeah, no, it's good racing. It's good to see. As James had to, well, not James. Yeah, James was letting a C7 through there and just missed the apex there and had to run down the little part of the track there, probably for motorbikes there to get to keep going. That was untop.
Yeah, and it looks like he's actually got damage on the front right of that car from that contact. I think it might have been a bit of netcode because he's flashing quite a bit, but he's definitely got damage on that the front fender there.
Yeah, it definitely does. Only it could be from the netcode. It's hard to stay on him. I've gone to the rear chase mode just to have a look at that. But if you can, Bernie, you should show the viewers on the front of that car the little mad cow on the front of there. That's pretty cool. I like that little touch on there at the moment.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a close-up of that car and to see that mad cow. We can just see the outline of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a mad-looking cow, that's for sure. So, no, good little touch there. You know, I like the idea, and you know, they've run with the old paint scheme, and you know, it works well for the.
It certainly does, and that's probably the closest we're going to get to seeing the front of that mad cow as the 188 goes past to put another lap on them.
Yeah, we've got a car off. We got a cars there, Benny. So we might have had an incident there.
Yeah, that was Simon Black there, going wide. We'll just jump back on the replay there and see if we can work out what's going on. But it looked like one of the Rec Corp cars was involved in that. Go back another 10 seconds to catch this, viewers, and we'll see what's going on here. So yeah, they came together with the Rec Corp entry there, and again the Swift boys parted the waters and managed to get through that way as both cars spun in front of them.
I think Scott was trying to get in underneath there. He thought he might have been able to do it, but it looks like he's realised he couldn't quite make it. Just put a little bit more pressure to try and woo him up, not to hit that car. And with these cars, they're just if you lock the front brakes on these, they'll actually spin the rear of the car around, and that's what's happened. He's lost control, and obviously instead of slowing down, it's kept the momentum up and given that Audi a whack, and yeah, unfortunately they've spun around, so they probably will get a penalty for that because they were sort of behind that car. But yeah, the Swift boys, Ross Rizzo in the car there, lucky to part the ways there, and good sense of mind to get on the brakes early there and get away with that. It was a good little bit of driving for Ross.
It certainly was, because instinct is to jump on the brakes there and you end up joining the accident. But Class A is rather interesting at the moment. The 188 is currently leading that class. I'd say it's due to pit stops, or as there's more contact. The 188's actually collected one of the GT3 cars again on the S's, and that's made the 177 also have to pull up. But so we've got 188 leading, followed by the 177, who is about a quarter of a lap down, and then the 104, they have dropped back a lap again, as well as Colin Schweck 137 have dropped back a lap. So we're back to 2 on the lead lap at the moment.
Alright, so getting interesting again with we've just over an hour to go, so it is starting to wind down here, folks. So I'd say it'd start heating up in action, but I think we've had action aplenty all day long, so I don't think it needs to heat up anymore. Oh, as I say, something Leon Tander goes around for a spin in turn 10A, so I'll see you.
Yeah, they must have heard you that you wanted a bit more action, and if anything, there's a lot of guys out there that will deliver on that.
Yeah, I don't think they need any incentive to. Oh, as the Swift boys go around burning, geez, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I need to see that because I'm sure they wouldn't have done that on their own.
Yeah, we'll have a look at a replay of that incident and see if we can work out what's going on.
And so, folks, as I said, action aplenty for sure.
Yeah, they've actually come unstuck there themselves by the looks of it. They were giving room to one of the HPDs and they come up on a lapped car that slowed down, and unfortunately they got the grass there.
Yeah, so they're trying to let the HPD through, and then there was a slow GT3 car. I think it might have come out of the pits, and obviously I think they were slowing down to let the HPD through and the boys through, and yeah, just got on the grass and couldn't get it arrested quickly enough and spun.
Yeah, and our Class C leader also spun just around that corner. They've been collected by a HPD as well, and that's Frida, and that car's looking like it's in a bit of trouble here.
And that's something that we didn't want to see, that's for sure. So, as I said, we didn't want to see this action go up a level. I think it was enough, but as it...
Yeah, the mad cow, as one of the HPDs go off, and I think they'll find the fence there. I tell you what, these HPD drivers, they've just got to take a chill pill and gather themselves back up, because we've got a few collisions here, which is with the lower classes in this last couple of laps.
Well, they've certainly turned up the wick, haven't they? They're not disappointing with the action. I mean, we're trying to cover it off the best we can, but yeah, man, they've just got to slow down a bit.
Yeah, they certainly do, and we've had another couple of penalties issued. The 104 FSR GT Amiga racing entry, they have been issued a drive-through for contact on the 229, and the 1818 TTL. Third offence for barging, and they've got a drive-through plus a maximum pit time plus a 40-second hold. So we can expect that car to slide down the leaderboard again. It looks like...
so I'm just picking up... Sorry, Benny.
I was just going to say, it looks like the Mad Cow car's got a lot of damage, but they are still circulating, and I'd say they're just trying to keep that one lap lead until they can get that car in to take service.
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up with the Mad Cow car here at the moment, just trying to see what happened. Geez, that's weird. Quite a little bit of net code there. He lost all the front end there, and he was nowhere near the Swift racing car, and yet the I think it was the redback car behind must have collected him there as well as they were going through. I think it was a redback car. Gee, that was really messy, just because the guy was off on the road there. Yeah, really crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was definitely the 119 that they did collect, but I tell you what, they were very lucky that they didn't collect the Swift boys who were parked on the side of the road there.
Yeah, just a little bit of netcode. We know that James is having a little bit of issue there with netcode, and he's flashing in and out. And I think that's what popped up for me. It was like a little bit of netcode. He lost his bonnet and front end, which is really bad. But as he spun, the 119 hit him, and that's where the damage has actually come from, is hitting that HPD at the time. Steering looks okay. He's just going to lose a little bit of straight line speed, and two, they do have a bit of time up their sleeves at the moment, but oh man, that car is a bit of a handful at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's definitely seen better days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably, it may have done something to the steering there. You know how sometimes you can hit it, or it might be the rear wheel that might be a little bit out of camp or out of whack, and it's just making that car a little bit hard to keep it in a straight line. It's definitely a fairly loose, this thing.
Yeah, it's definitely got some tracking issues going on with the car. It's not quite bad enough that it's crabbing, but it wouldn't be that far off, I don't think.
Yeah, it's been pretty close. It's definitely making it an issue here for James. He's doing a good job, don't get me wrong. He's doing a good job of trying to hang on to it, but yeah, it's going to be a tough one until his pit stop, which may not be that far away, Bernie. He might be okay up until his pit stop.
Yeah, and then the other question is, when they bring this car in, do they have any fast repairs? I know they've used one, I think, on that car earlier on today, but that'll be something else that may come into play here.
Yeah, that's right. You know, if the car doesn't, they don't have a quick repair, can they afford to jump in and get some sort of repairs done, which they probably will want to try and do, because it's not handling the best at the moment. So we'll see how they.
Yeah, I bet you that cow's getting pretty mad under the collar there as well, and it looks like we've got Mr. Tucker down there for an interview. We better bring him up, because we couldn't interview him earlier today.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea there.
Hi Brent, welcome to RRTV's Combox, and it's great to have you up here tonight. How's the race going there?
217, it's going all right, as Scott flicks out there for me. 217's going right there in fourth in a pretty tight battle with SDC at the moment, so that's shaping up to be a bit of a cracker for the end of the race. Scott's in the car just trying to mow him down at the moment after a little bit of an incident there. He's readdressed, so hopefully since he readdressed, he let the car get back ahead that he accidentally hit. So yeah, it's been a hectic race all around. There's been just some absolutely appalling, as I say that, 217's just been black flagged. But yeah, it's just, there's been some terrible racing out there. With one car in particular had 4 or 5 calls from race control within 4 or 5 laps, me out, and nearly took the OSR 351 car out as well. So it's probably been the messiest race this season for AEC, to be brutally honest here.
Yeah, I was saying earlier that this race is definitely up there with Bathurst, which was one of the messiest races we had recently, but really the tone of this race was set in that first lap, wasn't it, when things just didn't go right from the start.
I was actually on my work break then, so I only just managed to catch it, but yeah, it seemed to, the tone seemed to be set pretty early on, and then it's just kind of degraded from there. With no passing zones in effect, drivers seem to think that rule's effectively being thrown out the window now. I've had a couple of close calls there with the same HPD I mentioned before. Trying to go too wide in a corner in a area where you just can't really go too wide. I had to mount the curb to try and avoid the idiots, so it is what it is. 218's had an up and down day. I drove like an utter potato for my first half of my stint, so that's kind of put us on the back foot, but we've just managed to hang in there and claw positions back as others fade away.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this race, isn't it? As the other people do fade, is the race sort of comes to you, and we can just see now the 218's just gone past its sister car, the 217, who's just served that drive-through penalty. So you've got a good photo opportunity here with both your cars front to nose on the track.
Yeah, that'll come at a later stage. But yeah, it's been a messy race, as there's another yellow flying somewhere out on the track for whatever reason. But yeah, it's just been a really messy race. And yeah, I just want it to be over, to be brutally honest. Lucas and Scott are in the car taking 217 and 8 home respectively, so hopefully we can just bring it home.
Yeah, and that car, there was a GT3 turned around down at the bottom of the S's there, which brought out the yellow. There's another penalty being issued to Delta Sim Sport for the viewers out there for ignoring blue flags. We're just waiting to see what race control wants to do about that. But as far as RAC Corp goes, it looks like you're running. Where are you running? Just trying to work out where you are in class at the moment.
We're in a battle. At the moment, we're in 5th for class. 5th? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're in 5th in class at the moment. I mean, we were battling pretty hard with SDC for 4th. At one point in time, it was a 3-car battle for 3rd for the final step on the podium with the ERA 266 car, but that has since died down. So Scott's just trying to push back and get his lap back. Unfortunately, that he lost to the SDC car, so we might just have to settle for 5th here, but still just under an hour to go. So as we've seen very early on within the race, anything can and will happen at Road Atlanta. I could kind of see it was going to be one of these races, just with some of the impatiency shown throughout practice sessions and the moves I saw trying to be pulled. So yeah, eyes forward for the next round.
Yeah, that's right. And before we let you go, Brent, do you want to give a shout out to all the sponsors that are backing your team?
Yeah, sure. As always, huge thanks to RAC Corp, Unmetered Servers and Case Centric. Those guys are utterly brilliant, and to Extreme Racing as well for jumping on and sponsoring the team for the next year. Yeah, it's great to have them on board, so hopefully we can do them proud in future rounds, but top 5 finish in a race like this, nothing to laugh at. It's still a pretty solid achievement for a smallish team like All Stars, so we'll try and look forward to, I think it's the Glen 6 hour after this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is, but your cars are both straight out there, they're both tracking, and if you get both of them home, that's a big achievement as well.
Yeah, 10 hours around Road Atlanta is just absolutely brutal. It's such a short lap, and with 40 odd cars on the track, yeah, there's once you start lapping traffic, there's never really more than half a lap worth of clean air. So it's probably one of the more draining races. 10 hours, only a minute 15, minute 14 lap though. You're always overtaking someone, always being overtaken, especially in the Daytona prototype. So yeah, this one's a bit more tiring than the others for me personally, because a lot of the other tracks have, a bit longer, a bit more stretched out, so not as busy as early on. Yeah,
that's right. Anyway, Brent, we'll let you go, mate, and you've got 56 minutes of this race left, so you might as well put your feet up and enjoy watching the rest of the race, I guess.
Oh yes, after 160 laps I think I might just do that, Mr. Bernie.
Yeah, no worries, I'll catch you later, man.
Catch you, Bernie. See you, Adrian.
Yeah, so that was Brent Tucker, the owner of All Star Motorsports, and yeah, he definitely sounds a little bit weary, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I'll get you to get on to car number 131. Bernie, I'm sure there's going to be another penalty there somewhere. They've just had a spin there in the S's, so we've got 131 and Kurt Stenberg in the car 100. So yeah, this car number 100 is having a shocker of it.
Yeah, we're just going to have a look at the replay here, and yeah, we'll see what's unravelled with these two.
Yeah, it looks like Wayne Jaffa in car number 131 has started in the S's, and the rear of this car has just got absolutely loose on him. And just watching him, he's in a big power slide here, but jumping the curves. Now he's onto the brakes, but oh man, the car 100 had nowhere to go and just T-boned him. And massive impact into the wall. Both cars crashed into that tyre barrier, and the car 131 hit the concrete. So that was a massive impact there, Bernie. Those cars are second hand for sure.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I tell you what, trying to drift to HPD, well, we see what happens when you do that.
Yeah, and I mean, Wayne's getting his car back to the pit lane. I'll tell you what, that's a mighty effort. But then he starts battling the car 100. Seriously, look, I understand you got to get the car back there and whatever you, but that thing is trashed, and you're trying to race people. That's just crazy stuff.
It certainly is. Both the cars are pretty trashed, and I tell you what, the 100 showed him the grass pretty quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, certainly did. I think what's funny, he doesn't have taillights there, but they're flashing. little bug there in iRacing at the moment. Got the chase view on there, and you can see his rear taillights flashing that he has none of. So, that's quite funny. I like that. It's a little bug there. Might have to let iRacing know about that one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it looks like the 100 had a fast repair up their sleeve, because they got that car pretty much brand new again for the last 52 minutes of this race. They're currently sitting 7th in Class A. The leader is still the 177, followed by the 137, and then the 104 is back on the lead lap. So we've got 3 cars in the lead lap. Looks like 188 has dropped off that lead lap again, and they're 1 lap down.
And it looks like this car 131 has not got any fast repairs left and is still sitting in the pits getting repaired.
Yeah, and by the looks of that car, I think they're going to be sitting there for quite a while before they get that car sorted out.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah, but it's good to see we're getting swapping and changing up the leaderboard there, obviously. But we'll see what happens with only 50 minutes to go, Bernie. It is winding down as that Mercedes has had a shocker. It looks like it's lost it in turn 5 or 6, sorry, again. So just a bad take for these guys.
Yeah, which car was that one?
The ARM racing team. I'm just trying to get a number up for you. Keep getting it. Probably 3 something.
Yeah, the 340, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, 340, that's the car.
Yeah, that car's definitely been in the wars, hasn't it? We saw that hit the fence really hard earlier on this evening, and I think they would have had to use a fast repair on it then, but it's starting to look second hand again. We've got a car into the wall.
Another car. They haven't let up, have they, today? It's been one of those races, and yeah, I can see a penalty going towards car number 119 for that one, just escorting that car 340 out there at the moment. So yeah, just one of those days today. Just no one giving an inch, really. They're just trying to take every mile they can.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I think that might have been Darren McKenzie involved in that incident. It was either that or Scott Kozlowski in the 392. Looking down in Class B, how's that looking? Well, we have Zach Hanlon now just putting another lap on Frida. That car's, the 333's seen better days, but at least it's still circulating and trying to hang on to that Class C lead. But yeah, ERA looks well and truly in control of Class B at the moment.
They're definitely doing a good job there in that car. I mean, they always come out and put a show on for us, but yeah, doing a great job, and yeah, just getting the job done, and good to see Zach's driving the car well today, and putting the laps in that car and doing a great.
Yeah, and we've only got 2 cars on that lead lap, as we said earlier. But let's see if we can get a bit of a gap on between them. But unfortunately, they're not playing with us today, so I'll have to do it by visual. How's that sound?
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, they've got the whole back straight in the lead at the moment. So that would be, what, about a 30-second lead, I guess?
Yeah, you could be right with that. Yeah, about 20 to 30 second lead. That's not a bad guess there.
I'm just counting. I'll be here all night.
I wondered what the noise was ticking away there, just using the abacus.
Yeah, that lead is 17 seconds approximately. Yeah, I was using the abacus.
I thought you were. Now, can I say that? Is it a little bit calm? Have they calmed down a bit? Is this? Are we going to see this calmness, or are we going to see something go on here in the moment? Because it looks relatively calm at the moment.
Yeah, it could also be that we're not catching all the action out there, but the last penalty, we've got a few being dealt out since our last update. Delta SimSport 399, I think they got a drive through, ignoring blue flags. I think we covered that off. Swift Racing, the 363, they got a penalty for unsafe re-entry. So that was when they were parked across the track, I'd say. They copped a warning for that. And 229 has a protest against them for causing contact on the 369, and that's going to be dealt with post-race.
And so that penalty list is going to keep stretching. I don't think we'd want Scott up here after the race. I think you might be better off sitting in the control room and going off, and probably going off and having a nice cup of tea or something, try and calm down.
Yeah, it must take a lot to calm down after doing race control for 10 hours. You'd need quite a few glasses of wine, I think. But looking at our retirements, the latest retirement is a 334, and that was with Cohen Attard behind the wheel of that car. So that car's done and dusted now as well. So we've had a total of, just counting them, 5 cars retire from tonight's race.
There's a few cars, isn't there? I think there might be a little bit more, but definitely 5 cars, which is it's starting to get in there. We're starting to see these guys just slowly drop off because they're just sad and sorry and just can't keep going, and it's time to put the towel in and say, yeah, we've had enough, which is, I think we saw the writing on the wall straight away, didn't we, within the first few laps of this race?
Yeah, we certainly did, and we've had a change for the lead in Class C. The 343 with Dylan Shepherd, One Performance Racing, was leading. They're just coming into the pits now, so it might shake out, but they were leading the 333. That's carrying all that damage. But the 333 will come through to retake that lead, but they are in a bit of a heavy battle here with One Performance Racing.
Yeah, I did have a lap up on those guys at one stage, so maybe that damage has slowed it down, but oh man, yeah, its actions tighten back up again, which it would do, and oh jeez, that's crazy stuff out here today, I'll tell you. I think there might be a few messages going out to teams. I think after this race, Bernie, the racing here is definitely second hand.
Yeah, not sure what you're watching. We're watching Frida around the back part of this circuit here, and just trying to keep that car out of trouble, and 43 minutes of this race to go.
My cameraman's on watching as much as I can at the same time, and there's a lot of traffic, and oh man, it's just yeah, I wouldn't want to be racing in that, Bernie. Seriously, I think I'd rather be staying in the booth or go and do some NASCAR racing on an oval track. I think you might be safer. You mightn't get taken out on an oval track.
Yeah, possibly not. But at the moment we can see Madison down. You're doing a great job leading the race, and again just getting through the traffic here. And he's got a Boost Juice entry right behind him.
Yeah, I was watching all the stuff that we were trying to get through earlier. That just, once again, I haven't been too critical on the driving in this series previously, but I must say today, the racing today has been really second hand. I'm generally pretty praising the drivers and how well they do, but today I think it's just second hand racing today. It's so aggressive, and I just don't think there's the need for it, because you're going to gain and lose throughout this track. It's just so short, it's going to happen, but just being overly aggressive, it's just crazy stuff, seriously.
Yeah, and in the end of the day, it does come down to the drivers, doesn't it, having to adapt to the track. I know some people will say, well, Road Atlanta's not suited for this type of racing, but they do have multi-class racing there in the real world, and it's really just up to the teams and the drivers to be able to adapt to the track and to the conditions.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we're going to have this age-old problem, you know. These guys aren't giving way, blah blah blah. You keep reading it, you keep seeing it, but generally, if you're being aggressive, and look, yes, I know race car drivers got to be aggressive to get moves done sometimes, but today it's just been on another scale of being aggressiveness. It's like I said, it reminds me of the V8s at Darwin. Last week, that was just crazy racing, and look what happened in that. Poor old Lee Holdsworth had quite a number of fractures out of that. So, you know, I mean, we don't get it here in our sport, which is grateful, I would suppose, but you know, still, yeah, not impressed with the quality of racing.
I'm just sort of just taking it all in my stride, but the 130 Tyson Williams at the moment, he's right behind Madison down, trying to get this car back on the lead lap. If he does, it'll make the fourth car on the lead lap in Class A. Sam Sutton in the 188, they were on the lead lap, but they've dropped back down again. As we jump on board now with Tyson Williams, we might, if Adrian's heart can stand it, we might do a lap around here in this car and just see what it's like to drive a HPD around Road Atlanta.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Okay, Adrian, hold on to your hat. We're coming into traffic.
This is going to be...
So how'd you go there, Adrian? Did you hold your breath for a whole 1 minute and 12 seconds?
Oh, I tell you, it'd probably be even scarier if we were watching something earlier on. But yeah, that was pretty hair-raising at that stage, just watching what's going on. So yeah, just crazy stuff, I think.
Yeah, and while we're on board there, on the 130, they actually got that lead lap back, that car back onto the lead lap. So they'll push forward now, and if a safety car comes out, you're going to have 4 cars battling it out in Class A.
Yeah, I'm just watching this with Madison. He's not really pushing this car at all. He's not forcing the issue. I've seen a lot of guys doing it, but just wonder if they're running to a number, trying to keep this fuel burn down or something. Because just have a look at his last lap time. Yeah, another 112. He's not in the low 111s here at the moment. He's just going for a Sunday afternoon drive by the look of it.
Yeah, he's got a very measured tempo going in that car at the moment, and they've got a 23-second gap, so he might also be driving not only to a number, but looking at trying to manage that gap back to the 104.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? He's not really overdriving the car either. It's I just sat with him throughout that lap and just watching his times. He's just seemed to be measured. He's not doing anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it might just be that he's driving it like you should drive these cars, and everyone else is driving like they're in the loony bin. Probably not.
Well, no, I think you're right in the fact that yes, he's driving it measured and being calculated in what he's doing. Just watching the other guys, they're just pushing the envelope to be to get somewhere as quickly as possible. And I think yes, you can be, but you've got to be calculated in what you're doing. I mean, he didn't really. He closed up on this crap court car. I'm just not sure of the number there at the moment, but he was patient. He waited and got the job done now. So he's just very calculated in what he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, and very smooth as well. That last lap he put in was a 1:11.087 compared to second place 1:11.587. So I think he's just a very smooth driver, and he's just coaxing this car along because he's definitely put in one of the fastest laps that last time through.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice lap, wasn't it? And he's got caught back up into traffic, but even through traffic, he's not pushing that position all the time. Like, see, he's come off of that last corner and got beside the C7 well before the corner and got that position. Watching him come up to Frida here, he's seeing where he is, and he's backed out of it fairly early on because he knew he wasn't going to get up beside the car. And now he's just sitting here. Is he vulnerable? Of course he is, but he's waiting his turn, and he knows that he can get penalised if he doesn't. But you watch him come out of the corner, he's on the gas at the right time, and he's leapfrogging that car fairly quickly. So very calculated driving here from Madison at the moment.
Yeah, and Madison's one of the leading V8 supercar drivers, so he's got a heck of a lot of experience behind him, and is a fantastic driver to watch. But if anything, he's definitely showing some of these other guys how you should be approaching this race. And that car's not up in the lead by fluke, it's up there because of the way this team has approached this race.
I mean, even just then, coming into that, I mean, I'm sure that C7 knew he was coming, but he had it done. You know, this is a show of how you should be racing in this race today. I think this has been the few laps I've been watching him. It's been very smooth and calculated, and what you need to do in this HVD is be patient, and he's doing a fantastic job. You know.
Yeah, and he's putting in some decent lap times as well as contending with this traffic as he goes past the Swift car again, and he should be up behind the Carnet car. But it looks like we've got James Stevenson down there from the Mad Cow car, so we might bring him up and get a bit of an update on the state of play with this car. It looks like 3 cars are on the lead lap now in Class C. Hi James, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and thanks for waiting. Looks like Frieda's got a bit of damage on that car. How's James coping with that at the moment?
Oh, it seems to be fine. He's still quicker than B2, so nothing to really be worried about.
Yeah, so I guess what you're telling us is the damage on that car looks worse than what it actually is.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've only just got back myself and been briefed as to what's happened, but yeah, the car pace looks pretty strong still.
Yeah, so we thought originally that he might have been trying to get it to the pit window so that you could get that car fixed, but have you got any fast repairs left up your sleeve, do you know? And if not, I guess you're going to be taking that car as is to the finish line.
Yeah, we accidentally used one of our fast repairs up in our first stop, so we've only had the one and we used that up a while back, so as is till the end, but we've only got about half an hour, so not going to be an issue.
Yeah, we've got 3 cars now on the lead lap in Class C, but I tell you what, Frieda's been up there just about the whole day in the lead and doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, everyone's put in a pretty good effort, I'd say.
So I might hand you over to Adrian. He's up here. His heart's palpitating at the moment with the some of the moves going on out there, so you might be able to calm him down a bit.
Yeah, hey James, welcome to it. It's always good to have you up here and have a chat with us and see what's going on. And I think I've been fairly strong in my opinion tonight that the racing's been pretty well second-hand driving from a few of these drivers. I'm not sure about you. I probably think you probably could put it into stronger words than what I just.
Unfortunately, I can't really comment on that. I did the first sort of 3.5 hours, and then I've been off doing VLN, so I think I've missed most of the aggro driving.
Yeah, no, I don't think you've missed much of it at all, because it's been continuing on to basically throughout this whole race. It's been one of those races where we think Bathurst was a bad race. It just seems like the guys are on another level here. I don't know what the urgency is tonight. They've been pretty very bold and aggressive in how they've been racing.
I think some of it might be that there's no overtaking between turns 2 and turns 5, so there may be a bit of an urge to get ahead before they get to turn 2 so that they're not stuck for a long time.
Yeah, it's just one of those crazy races. But yeah, no, it's looking good with that Mad Cow. I've noticed the nice little paint scheme there, the crazy Mad Cow on the front of the bonnet today. Been able to look at that. It's looking pretty sweet. And the Swift boys have been doing really well. They've been running up there quite well, and we've watched them going well today. They're in third position, so good drive from those boys.
Yeah, another reasonably strong showing from them. They were a driver down, and they've had to bring in, I think his name's Dean Rizzi, the fella in the car at the moment. So he's a bit of an unknown for us, but he seems to be handling himself pretty well.
Yeah, no, they've had, I think there was an issue earlier on. They were trying to get a HPD through, and there was a slow car and just went wide and got on the dirt earlier and had a bit of a spin. But other than that, he's been driving pretty good, and the whole team has been doing really well. So it's good to see those boys having another good, solid run.
Yeah, hopefully they can keep improving as the season goes on, and perhaps next year they'll be a contender.
Yeah, give you boys a bit more of a run, a bit of a challenge. It'd be good for a bit more of a challenge for you guys.
I was actually quite surprised by how close the qualifying was. Didn't really translate into the race that much, but yeah, it was definitely very, very close in qualifying.
Yeah, everyone seemed to do a fairly good job there, and I'm being so impressed with the boys there in Swift Racing, and it's good to see like yourselves there at Cow to help them along and move them forward, which was like we did see them there at Daytona, and the way it was for those guys, and just see them improve by leaps and bounds, haven't they? They've definitely picked this up, and the beauty about it, they're still enjoying it for what it is.
Yeah, for sure. The unfortunate thing is that they can't keep improving at the rate that they have. The closer you get to the limit, the slower it takes to get there, sort of thing.
Yeah, it starts getting a little bit harder. The guys that you're starting to reach have been out there for a while, so yeah, definitely takes some time. But it's good to see. It's once again that camaraderie here in this series sometimes is really good. Is crazy stuff again. At the moment, it's full on throughout here, but it's good to see, and it's good to see that Mad Cow's still running well. And how'd you go on the VLN today, mate? Was it?
Well, I wasn't even preparing to race for it because we had this race here, and they didn't actually have the Australian time slot running until a couple of days ago. So I jumped in with the baseline set up, no practice, rear of the grid, and I was up to P3 and sniffing around for P2, and then I got knocked around by another car into the wall, so ended up finishing P4. Is not too bad considering.
No, brilliant effort, and to do that without any practice and the likes, it sort of makes some of the boys go, geez, I wish I had that sort of talent in my left foot, but well done, James, and once again, it's always good to see you boys up here and putting on a top show for us. It's good to see that Mad Cow up near the pointy end of the field. It's great to see.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep on going for another 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, the time is certainly running down. I think everyone's looking forward to the end of the race. It's been one of those hectic races that it's been full on, and I think I'm going to need a rest from it as well. And I don't envy Scott tonight. He's going to be greyer than normal, I think.
Yeah, I'd say he'll be pulling his hair out a bit.
Yeah, certainly. Well, James, look, thanks for coming up here. I'm sure we'll see you in 20 odd minutes time, and we'll have a chat to you then. But in the meantime, sit back, catch up with the guys, and watch this race that's unfolding to the.
Thank you.
So it's actually pretty good to get the inside word on how Frieda's feeling at the moment, and it sounds like James Pettigrew's got it well under control at this stage.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way, and you know, it looks like he'll definitely drive this car all the way home. I mean, you're not going to get him out now with about 24, less than 25 minutes to go. So, and as true to form, these guys still haven't backed off any. The best driving I've seen so far is Madison in the HPD. I think that's been one of the class driving I've seen so far in the HPD.
Yeah, definitely is going for driver of the night as far as I'm concerned. This car has completed now 427 laps off-road Atlanta, and they've led for 133 of those laps. So he's lapping in what, the low 111s. His last lap was a 111.208 compared to the other guys that are in the 112s at the moment.
Yeah, no, just watching him, it was very smooth driving. I'm really impressed on the way that he was driving recently. So he's doing a really good job. And as for the other drivers, yeah, some of them have been pretty average, haven't they? So, but yeah, no, interesting race. Just definitely interesting viewing, and man, it's just full on, isn't it? I suppose this racetrack has definitely brought up the good and bad all in one throw.
Yeah, it certainly has, and we're riding on board at the moment with Madison as he's negotiating his way through the traffic here.
Yeah, once again, you know, he's urgent, obviously, because he's quite quick, but there's no overly aggressive move. It's like even coming up into turn 2, he wasn't going to get the move done, so he's backed out of it and kept his position behind here, and he'll give himself a bit of room so he can power out of the apex of the corner, so he can get the drive out to overtake these cars. And that's, you know, he's very talented in that respect at the moment.
Yeah, and it's a few years ago now, but he actually he won the race centre competition and got to drive a legend up at Sydney. What do you call that place up there? Sydney Stadium. One of the rounds up there.
Yeah, and just watching now, he's just used those GT3s to get past the boost car there, just to slow him up. Just watch him coming over the top here. Got a little bit squeezed there, but got the job done. And now he's moved around. He's just doing it with ease, isn't he? He's just passing these guys really easily. It's just really nice to...
Yeah, that's right. Now that we've talked him up, he'll probably go and put it in the wall, and that'll be that.
Hey, I didn't say it this time, you heard it. I've never put the rockets on in time, but no, it's good to see the racing. I mean, it's great the way that he's racing at the moment. He's closing in on these, starting to close back in on this boost juice car. I believe he got overtaken earlier, and he's starting to close it in now. So getting the best of the handling out of this car.
Yeah, well, he's just trying to work out where he is. Yeah, he is closing back in to put that car a lap down. He's got a lead of 43 seconds over the 137 car. That's Carnet TDR are back up into second, and Colin Schweck's behind the wheel of that car and doing a great job as well.
Yeah, no, they've come back from adversity as well. That team wasn't doing that brilliantly either at the beginning, but to see it at the end here, it's moved his way up into second position, so doing a...
Yes, that's another good drive, and they'll be very happy with that because they're leading Class A in the championship at the moment, I think, and this is going to really help them because the next car that they're competing against is Team TTL, and Team TTL at the moment sitting down in 4th position, and then in 3rd is Evolution Racing Australia, the 126, and I don't even think the 126 race this weekend.
Yeah, no, I don't recall it racing at all either, so yeah, it's been one of those days.
So 19 minutes of this race to go. It's definitely starting to count down now, and don't know about you, but I'm getting a bit of a headache today.
Yes, it's been one of those races, been full on, and this week, gosh, it's just crazy stuff at the moment. And, oh God, oh man, yeah, 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes to go. No safety car will be called in that period, so we'll be racing for 20 minutes without a safety car. But yeah, let's hopefully we don't get too much of a big incident, because we'll end up losing a few cars. But man, oh, this is just is it finished yet? Oh man, is it?
Well, it's quite interesting. The last safety car I can see being called was on lap, I'm just going through here, looks like it was on lap 241 from what I can see here. And where are we up to now? We're up to lap 431, so it's been quite a I guess safety car a free zone for the last 200 laps.
Yeah, and we've had some more precision driving there. Car number 229, and I'll see if I can get car number 115 have decided that being on the black stuff is not important.
Yeah, well, that black stuff, I tell you what, look how black that black stuff is getting. You can really see how worn that track's getting now, can't you? With all the black track lines there.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of rubber on there. It wouldn't be helpful at all. Just going back to check this replay out, let's just see what's happened here. Yeah, 229's gone underneath a car and then moved up and just broke loose. I'm trying to think, and then got a nasty big whack. Obviously, because the car preceding it couldn't miss it. I mean, unfortunately. So that was Ocean Sim Racing with Simon Black in the car. So just gave him a good old nudge there as well. Unfortunately, couldn't miss him anyway. And then we've had 115 get involved in that too, because he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's no good at all, is it?
Yes, so as it keeps going on, we'll get back to the racing and see what else is happening. I might have missed about 5 things while I was looking at it.
Yeah, well, we just had a look at a replay. James McKnight and the 225 getting turned around there, and as well. Was that the one you were looking at?
No, that was 229 I was watching. So yeah, another one that was going on at the time. So there you go. So it's definitely action still going along with 16 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, so let's get with 16 minutes to go, top 3 of each class, so the viewers know where the state of play is when as this race counts down. So at the moment, Madison Down in the 177 is leading Class A end of race, coming through to complete lap 433. They've got a 40-second gap back to Colin Schweck for TV Racing, and then Tyson Williams in the 130 Synergy Sim Racing. They are 69 seconds off the lead at the moment, but on the same lap here. Looking at Class B, man, yawning. Having a look at Class B, it looks like Bo Cattell in the 200 Boost Juice entry is leading that class. Second is the 228 with Zach Hanlon behind the wheel of that car. So it looks like there's been a change in lead there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely looks that way to me. And then third is the sister car, the 226, and they are now 3 laps down from the leaders in Class B.
Yeah, that's what Mike and Lim was telling me as well. They're
Yeah, and there was a HPD going around down there, and the 226 nearly collected it. Class C, 333 Frida. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, is leading the way, followed by 343, who's a lap down. So that's a Mercedes of One Performance Racing at the moment. 1 lap down, but in second. And then third is Swift Racing, and they're on the same lap as the One Performance Racing team. So it's looking good there for Mad Cow and the Swift team. So that's your top 3 of each class.
Yes, it's definitely been excitement racing, and I can understand you yawning there, Bernie. It's been a big 24 hours for us today. We did cover off a race late last night, which meant that we were only going to bed early this morning, and then backing it up with the AEC round as well, which has been a big day as well for 10 hours. So I can understand you being tired today.
Yeah, we've definitely probably put in a full day's work in the last 24 hours probably, which doesn't sound a lot, but on a Sunday, you know, there's other things you could be doing. Oh boy, there's nearly another crash there.
Yeah, look, now, see, like that, Madison was there, he got caught up, he was being patient, and then, you know, the other guys were just saying, well, I'm going, you know. Just crazy stuff. That's where I think Madison's trying to play it safe, but nearly got taken out there, which is a shame. But now he's got to try and get past these 2 cars again, which he has overtaken earlier. And this is crazy.
Yeah, this is when races are won and lost, isn't it? When if you get caught up in other people's dramas, it can cost you big time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just look at the pace that Madison's bringing on here, and he's catching up to these guys again, and he's got to try and do this all over again. So yeah, it's just patience. So Bernie, the patience in that car. I'm sure he's frustrated though. Geez, he's got a lot of time in that car, hasn't he?
Certainly has. That gap still staying at 43 seconds though, so he's got a lot of time up his sleeve with 12 minutes to go. He's really just got to keep this car out of trouble, touch wood, and the win should be theirs.
Yeah, well, that's I mean, he can only control what he can in his own car, but I think I'm just going to stick with the 2 cars that are in front of him at the moment. With Madison racing at the moment, I'd be worried about the 2 cars in front of him. The way that they're racing each other at the moment, be a scary sort of situation to be in for him, knowing those 2 the way they're racing.
Well, these 2 are actually racing for position, and they're racing for 3rd and 4th, so the last step on the podium. That's why these 2 are going at it so hard, and Madison's just sitting back here watching it all unfold in front of him.
Yeah, I'm more worried about if it unfolds in front of him, the wrong sort of situation, and he gets taken out. That's where my worry is for him, but obviously that's not much I can do about it. But yeah, it's sort of get hard in mouth situation, and yeah, it's sort of crazy stuff at the moment.
And you can tell the racing's getting pretty exciting, folks, when the commentators start getting nervous.
You know, I've been watching this race, and it's been a really crazy race, but the guys on the grass, would you mind? Shane Van Gisbergen, and I think I'll drive on the grass to keep my tyres cool. And yeah, that's a sensible risk reward situation there. Thank you very much.
I think you need to go and get a warm cup of milk and calm down a bit over there, Adrian.
Oh man, I just think the boys are on another level today. I just generally, yeah, they're aggressive, and you know, the HPDs, you know, they've got a lot of downforce. They can pull off some of these moves, but Man, oh man, it's just crazy. I get just on another level today.
Yeah, so that battle looks like it has pretty much been settled here, and Sam Sutton moves that 188 back up. He's on the lead lap into third. Tyson Williams has just dropped down off that lap as Madison Downs came through to pass him there.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, like, head back into topic here, which is crazy stuff at the moment, but, you know, you can see at the moment Madison's losing a little bit of time. He was closing in on Sam here, but, you know, it's, look at the cackle of cars, jeez. Oh, I don't want to go back into that mess there, Bernie. I could just see tears in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of tears down there as Madison now clears them, but definitely a big angry pack behind him, isn't it? And the 130's in there at the moment, just working his way through the traffic there.
Yeah, it's yeah. All I can say, it's just been one of those crazy races. I think I'm going to be walking away from this one shaking my head. I don't think I've ever seen a race. I know we've seen some bad races, especially in the penultimate race not penultimate, first round race, the first ever race for these guys, and it was a bit howdy doody, how's your father sort of racing, like. But that was the first time we did multi-class endurance racing and something everyone was learning. But today, I don't know, it's on another scale, I think.
Yeah, a few people have definitely taken their angry pills this morning, and as the race comes down to 8 minutes, there's been a total of 85 infringements, including post-race, served in this 10-hour race, so that's quite a few, and I'm not sure how many safety cars we've had, but probably up around about the 8 or 9 safety cars today.
Yeah, I think that's the weird thing. I mean, safety cars probably haven't been the big thing on this race, is it? I mean, you know, say 9, but over a 10-hour period, 1 an hour, isn't overly a great amount considering how many we had at Bathurst. We had quite a few there, and Daytona was our first race last year. Watching that was quite a few in that one as well. But just looking at the penalties, you know, looking at it and counting it, I think we've got up to 76 penalties, and that's because I can read the lines here. We lose 5, so we're up to 81 on the lines here, so take off 5, so we're up to about 76. And put it in contrast, I mean, in 12-hour race at Sebring we got up to 88, so we're not that far away, and we've only done 2 hours less in racing.
Yeah, and there's another twist to the tail here. The 130 and the 104 have had to come in for a splash and dash in the HPD, so we may see some of our leaders having to come in to top up here.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, just watching Madison earlier, like I said to you, he's been really smooth. He hasn't been really putting in great big lap times at that one point there. Like, he was hitting numbers there for a while, so I was wondering if he might have knew in the situation early on and actually trying to save a bit of fuel.
Yeah, well, that could be it too, couldn't it? Because he's been very smooth coming on and off the gas there, and at the moment Colin goes through again, so they're trying to make it here. So we'll see if Team TTL has to come in for a quick splash of fuel.
Yeah, with we've got 5 minutes remaining. The TDR team, they've got 13 pit stops today, so you know, you're thinking they might actually have enough, but if they haven't calculated properly, they might need a bit more. But this car 177 only has stopped 11 times, so you could be right there, Bernie. It may need a little bit more fuel, but depending on how well they've been driving and saving fuel.
Yeah, well, they've got a lot up their sleeve. 30 seconds is the gap, so if they need to, and I'm sure Madison has been saving more fuel in the way he's driving than the other cars. But we'll see how it unfolds with 4 minutes of racing to go. There's only really another 3 laps in this race, possibly 4.
Yeah, looking at my telemetry, we've got about 4.9 laps remaining, so got a few more laps. We'll see how they go, but I think he's got a fairly decent lead here. He can just ease off the throttle a little bit to save a bit of fuel, so back off before the corners, you know, let it roll into a corner and then ease on the throttle coming out, so definitely plenty of ways to save a bit of fuel in these.
Yeah, that's right, and he's going through once more, so it'd be interesting if we could get telemetry to see how much fuel these guys have, but that would probably take the fun out of it, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure, like something that, you know, even in V8s, they're not always 100% certain how much fuel the guys have got to put in and that, so yeah, it's something that leaves us guessing, I suppose, and putting everyone on their edge and thinking, oh, do they need to stop or not? So that's probably a little bit of good thing for everyone involved in that respect, I suppose.
Yeah, and 3 minutes to go, and Carnet TDR, they go through again, so they're looking pretty good. We'll keep an eye on the 188 Team TTL, they're third at the moment and on the same lap, so they're really the only 3 we have to keep a track of. But they're all separated now by over 30 seconds each, so the 188 65 seconds from the lead, the 137 is 33 seconds from the lead, and yeah.
Yeah, with about I've got 2 minutes and it's telling me 3 laps, so we'll see how that transpires. I mean, I suppose they're predicting that the leader's going to be that close to the start-finish line that they'll do 1 more lap. So, like we've seen previously there, Bernie, if you're within a certain distance of the finish line, it'll actually click over to 1 more lap. So, which we've had before, which is quite interesting. We've had to do 1 more full lap, and the time was up with like 5 seconds before we hit the start-finish.
Yeah, that's right, and we're just looking at the 200 at the moment. Boost Juice entry, Bo Cattell there, bringing that car home in first as another HPD. Looks like that was, might have been Nutter's Motorsport Green taking to the grass there. Looking like there's a bit more racing going on between Redback Racing here and the Dayco entry, and these guys are actually battling for position, would you believe, for 6th and 7th, and Dayco's just got that spot.
Yeah, it's good to see some of them out there actually racing for position, so you know, Dean in the Redback car doing a good job, 7th positions, not too bad going for those guys. Just having a quick look, they've gained 1 position from the start, so not a bad result for these boys.
Yeah, not too bad. And this Dayco car, we know at the very start of the race it was in all sorts of dramas, wasn't it? And they were 4 laps down. They've actually got 2 of those laps back during this race, which leaves them only 2 laps down from the leader.
Yeah, not too bad, and yeah, like I predicted, I think, Bernie, this is close to the point where Madison is actually going to go over the start-finish line before it clicks over. So with 20 seconds to go in, time runs out and he's over the start-finish line. So 1 more lap for the leader. He's on his last lap, so without anything untoward happening here for Madison, it looks like he's wrapped up the race win here today with his teammates. So probably a brilliant drive, and very nice, calculated, smooth drive by Madison in this.
Yeah, that's right. The white flag's out now, and let's hope they don't do a Toyota on us and run out of fuel. That would be just too much for my co-commentator here to take. But I tell you what, Redback Racing Dayco, they're still at it here, racing for 6th and 7th position. We better jump on with our leader as Madison Downs for Trans-Tasman Racing is coming into the final chicane before he takes the checkered flag here for the Road Atlanta 10-hour and round 5 of the Australian Endurance Championship.
Yeah, brilliant drive there. He's come across the line. He didn't push yet envelope there to catch up to those black cars there, so done a fantastic job there.
Yeah, so round 5 does go to Trans-Tasman Racing. Fantastic drive by all concerned there, and I bet you they'll be celebrating tonight. We can see Carnet TDR, that's another great drive by this team. They're going to come home in 2nd spot at the moment, and another nice measured drive by that team, and that's going to help them with their points tally.
Yeah, it's been a tough one though, hasn't it? Like a lot of these teams, they've struggled early on and fought through adversity to come in 2nd, so it's not a bad job. And same with Team TTL at the moment, they're coming home in 3rd, still on the lead lap, which is having 3 cars on the lead lap. Bernie, that's not too bad. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. There was only 1 car on the lead lap early on, but they got a penalty, and it just brought these guys back on the lead lap as Sam Sutton brings it home just then. So well done to those boys, bringing it home.
Yeah, and we can see Bo Cattell in the number 200. They have taken the win in Class B, followed by, I'm not sure here, the 226 came home in 2nd, I think. Then the 228 home in 3rd, but we'll definitely go through the full placings very shortly for our viewers. It looks like out of the battle between Dayco and Redback there, we saw it looks like Redback managed to hold on to that 6th position, so that's a good result for them. As we see our leader, let's see if you can do a donut in a HPD. So while we wait to see if HPDs actually can do donuts, which it appears they cannot, let's take you through the full positions, and so you can see where your favourite driver finished tonight. So winning round 5, Trans-Tasman Racing, the 177, followed by the 137, Carnet TDR in 2nd. 188, Team TTL was a bit of a roller coaster for this team, but when it counted, they got that car up into 3rd position. 4th in Class A went to Synergy Sim Racing, the 130 Boost Juice entry, and then 5th was the 104 JFF Racing GT Amiga team, followed by Redback Racing HPD Team 2, the 119. 7th, 100 Dayco Motorsports, followed by Nutters Motorsport Orange. And then 9th in Class A was Tryhards Racing. Winning Class B is Synergy Sim Racing, the number 200. Bo Cattell was driving that car at the end of the race there, and a good result for that team. Home in 11th was Team VPR. We haven't seen much of them tonight. Then 2nd, first of the Evolution Racing team cars for Class B, the 226, and the 228 finished 1 lap behind them. Evolution Racing Australia. 14th and 4th in Class B was the 217 All Stars Motorsports, and then 5th in Class B, SDC Motorsport Enduro Team. 16th, Tryhards Racing HPD 2, followed by Tryhards Racing DP1 in 17th. 18th was the Thunder Sim Racing entry, followed by All Stars Motorsports, the 218, home in 19th position, and then 20th was Tryhards Racing DP2. 21st, LM and Touring International, the number 229. Now winning Class C is the 333 Mad Cow Racing Frida, followed by second in Class C, the 3431 Performance Racing, and then the third in Class C was Swift Racing, the number 363. Oceanic Sim Racing comes home fourth in Class C, followed by Pagny and IRF Racing home in fifth in Class C. Then sixth in Class C, 314 Selby Racing Team. 28th outright was Synergy Sim Racing 3, the number 230, followed by the 367 Blackadder Motorsport entry in 29th. Then Delta Sim Sport, the number 399, comes home in 30th position. 31st, Tryhards Racing 1, followed by Carnet TDR in 32nd. Arm Racing home in 33rd, followed by Tryhards Racing 2 in 34th. Tryhards Racing 3 in 35th and 120 laps down. And then we're into our retirements. Blackadder Motorsport, the Nutters Motorsport Green, 448 laps down. G&T Racing, ABR Team Simulated, the 118 Redback Racing HPD, and the 398 ANZ Motorsports, all retired from tonight's race. So there you go, that's the roundup of where all your favourite drivers finished, but it looks like we should bring Madison down up, Adrian, and maybe you can have a chat with him.
Yeah, we could do that, or we could start from the bottom and work our way up and leave the race winner tonight for last. If you like, do change it up a bit, get these drivers thinking for a change.
Alright, so who should we bring up first then?
I reckon we'll bring up James Stevenson. We only had him up here recently, but we'll get him back up here. And obviously, there's not a lot that we can talk about because we've had an early interview. But we'll get him back up here, and we'll start from Class C, I reckon, and work our way up to Class A. I think that'll be a little bit different for the.
All right, we'll do that. You can interview James though, because I need some water after going through all those results.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I've got no issues. Hey, James, welcome back to the commentary booth. Good to see you up here. Once again, another solid win for you guys. Must be pretty pleased.
Yeah, pretty good. Sorry, I've got two people talking at me at once. Yeah, happy with the win. Scott doesn't want to come up and do an interview because he's a little bit embarrassed because he put the car in the wall.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, that's one of the things. I think we may have missed that one, but he wouldn't be the first one that hit a wall today. But no, it's good to see the car came home. It had a slight damage. I'm sure it's not the only one out there that had a bit of damage to it, but it's good to see that the car's come home and you've got that win again. So definitely good for the championship.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to the coming rounds as well.
Yeah, certainly, and we got you up here because we've only had you up here recently, so we might bring you up because it was going to be a short one, but it's good to have you guys up here, and it's good that you put in a lot of effort in these series, and it's good to see you boys put in that effort and also help a few teams out, so which are good for the boys back there in the Swift Racing, finishing in third, so another solid result for those.
Yeah, we didn't actually get to give them a hand for this round, so that's all on them now. That's what they've learned from us, and they've applied it and done a good job.
They certainly have, and it's good to see that they've picked up on that from you guys. And once again, you know, it's something that's great to see from a team and a point of view from your team's side to do that for those guys. It's really good to see, and it helps the community, and it's helped those boys, and it made great racing for us to watch here as well.
Yeah, it would have been nice if nobody had damaged cars and we could all have a nice little tussle to the finish. But it's endurance racing, so field gets spread out, people get damaged, some people get luck, others don't, and yeah, we've come through reasonably well, I'd say.
Yeah, that's right. It is one of the things about endurance racing and multi-class racing as well. There's a lot of stuff goes on, and unfortunately, this was one of the races that was pretty well full on. Probably the biggest, most full on race I've seen in a while. But it's good to see you bring that car home and get that podium finish again. And looking forward to seeing you boys again later on at the next round. So I believe someone had said it was 6 hours at the Glen or something like that, so it'd be interesting at what.
It'd be interesting. We had Hayden and Craig, who were in two different cars today. We had them run the 6 hours of the Glen with iRacing this morning, and they ended up in split 2 instead of split 1, but they took out the win there, so we should be able to perform pretty strong based off that when we get there, but we'll see what happens.
I know that'd be good for you, a little bit of free practice, basically. Yeah, so no, it should be good to see how well you guys go there. But thanks for coming up, mate. I know you don't have any sponsors to shout out there, but I know the Mad Cow fans would love to hear a shout out to them. And obviously, once again, you boys done a great job to get that car home first.
Yeah. Shout out to our fans. Facebook's been going nuts the last couple of days. So, the fans are really getting into it. And I've also got to give a bit of a shout out to Oculus. Both Scott and I used the Oculus Rift for this race. We thoroughly enjoyed it. And James Pettigrew, he has a Vive. So as soon as I get support for that, he'll be in as well. So we'll have pretty much the whole team on VR.
Oh, fantastic! So a bit of virtual reality there for those boys. So yeah, that's fantastic. And how are you finding it? Very good for.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, the only thing is you get a little bit of shimmering because anti-aliasing's not working at the current moment, but they're working on that back at iRacing, and the resolution. It's not where you'd like it to be, but it's enough to get by, and just the immersion and knowing exactly where the cars around you are and everything, it's fantastic.
Very cool. So it's there you go, viewers, a little bit of update there on the VR. So great to hear that. Thanks for that, James. It's something that we weren't aware of, but now we do, and great to hear. So looking forward to your racing in the next coming weeks in the AAC Champion.
Thank you, guys.
So the next guy we'll bring up is Dylan Shepherd. They finished second in Class C in the 343 Mercedes. Hi Dylan, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and congratulations in coming second in Class C tonight in the Mercedes. How did the race unfold for you?
Hey guys, bloody awesome race actually. Lewis had unreal pace and Jeff came in with some surprising pace as well. He's a bit of an underdog, and I think we just went through the race and played it smart, had some good strategy calls, tried to keep out of trouble as much as possible, and I think that's how we ended up where we were, was just keeping out of trouble. We weren't the quickest at most times, but we were quick when we needed to be, and we kept out of trouble when there was carnage.
Yeah, so did you guys have any dramas whatsoever today, or was it pretty much smooth sailing for you?
It was mostly smooth sailing. I think Lewis had one incident where he just spun out from a silly little mistake and caused a bit of gearbox damage, I think, but we just used one of the fast repairs on that. But other than that, we were able to make it through the rest of the race without even using the second fast repair, so I think we got through pretty cleanly and a bit more lucky than some of the other guys.
Fantastic. And what do you think the standard of driving was out there? Like, we've got our opinion on it, but it'd be interesting to see your perception of how that race was from a driver's point of view. Yeah,
it was quite interesting actually, because it's our first time in the GT3 this weekend in ASE, because before we were C17, me and a few boys, so it was interesting to see it from a GT3 driver's perspective, where you don't pass other cars that aren't in your class. It's just getting lapped by everyone else. So standard driving, it's not bad. It's like there's people out there that you can tell who have got a lot of experience, who have been racing in this series since it started, and when they pass you and when they come up behind you, you know, like, oh, they'll come past me in a safe spot, and yeah, they're really good. And then you just get some people who might be new to the multi-class racing, and they just sometimes they're a bit hesitant to do a move, and it comes a bit confusion between the two cars and can be a bit messy. But yeah, I think everyone drove as well as they could, and I don't think there wasn't any ridiculously stupid driving. I think there might have been a few brain fades, but overall I think it was pretty good.
Fantastic. And looking at the next round, I think we've got a 6 hour coming up, so when do you guys start preparing for that? Do you have a week off, or do you get straight into it, or do you just jump in the weekend before and start practicing then?
I think this week we started the week before. I think it'll probably just be the same again. Well, with the 6 hours, probably only 2 drivers, so we'll probably just get whoever's the 2 quickest in practice maybe and throw them in, and yeah, it'll be a bit of a hectic race. So yeah, probably just the week before, and that should be enough preparation, I hope.
Fantastic. Well, before we let you go, Dylan, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I've had to thank all the sponsors at Fusion Sim Racing and all the boys at Fusion Sim Racing too for the support they've given everyone in the last few days, weeks even. I think the team's really come together, so massive shout out to the team at Fusion Sim Racing and the sponsors GTA Mega, Daco, TPR Race Engineering, New Lakes Construction. The new sponsor, Dynamic Sim Racing, they're doing some really cool things. I think everyone should check them out, and GTI.com as well for their work as well.
Fantastic. Well, once again, congratulations on second, and thanks for popping in and having a chat, and we'll see you at the next round.
Thanks for having me, boys. Have a good night.
Okay, so we've got a couple of Class A drivers waiting for interviews, and it looks like we've also got Evolution Racing Australia in Class B, so I guess we should bring up Class B next, Adrian.
Yeah, we can bring those Brenton O'Brien and Anthony Mansarella because they're both from ERO.
No problems, we'll bring them up now. Welcome to the commentary box, Brenton and Anthony. Firstly, congratulations, a very strong showing there in Class B tonight. Having both those cars in the top 3 all day is no small feat, that's for sure.
Well, first of all, well done to yourself, Bernie, and to Adrian, Redback Racing TV, for again presenting what is an excellent series, and Scotty Stevens and his crew there, who they were up against it tonight. Let's be honest, a scratchy start. The forum will go completely nuts, we know, but you can only do what you can do. And before I say anything else, complete hats off to the SSR Car 200. Those boys did a completely stellar job all day, and they were always there and thereabouts, and they got the reward then. But at the same time, second and third for the ERA cars is a really, really good result considering where we were 24 hours ago.
Yeah, for sure. It was a very, very strong result for ERA today. You had the car, I'm not sure which one it was, leading that class for most of today, and the other one was in third, so having 2 cars in the top 3 for a 10-hour race and getting them both home, that's a really big effort, so well done to all the drivers there.
Yeah, and the 226, we crawled over the top of 228 at the end there. They had a few dramas. They got completely Liberace by HBD at the end there, and that put them in the pits and certainly cost them a strong second. No doubt Anthony can tell you about that. But with the 226, our very first pit stop, it's obviously a glitch with the C7, I think, because we had slight damage to the car, came in for a 6-second repair. We didn't have a quick repair turned on because it was minor damage, and we just got held in the pits and we couldn't do anything about it, and we were stuck there for 2 laps, and eventually that's what we finished behind. So not looking for excuses, but obviously it's something that iRacing will hopefully need to look into. But like I said, this time yesterday, we were no idea we set up. We had no idea who was driving what car. We couldn't actually field the 126 today because Ian Ford and Ben Smith and co were all at work, and obviously work comes first. So we were scraping, and we couldn't run the 223, so we were scraping to run the 2 cars today. So the guys did a really good job.
Yeah, we ended up having the meatball flag glitch as well. Didn't know how long we were going to be stationary for, and ended up costing us second place. So sort of gutted, but oh well, like Brenton said, second and third for ERA. We've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. We noticed, I think it was a 228, sporting a different livery tonight. It actually threw me for a bit because I didn't think I had the correct paints loaded. But it looks like Logitech's come on board on that car.
Yeah, super proud to announce probably 3 weeks ago now that we've got Logitech G on board. Very strong sponsor for Evolution Racing Australia. Have a look at their Facebook page and their web page as well, because they do great things for the sim racing and the IT community in general, don't they? So, to all the people who, a lot of hard work. Negotiations started back August 18 last year, Bernie, when we started talking to Logitech, and finally they came to the table with us, and it's just such a big thing for us. So, they give us financial incentive there, but also product as well. So what they've done is outstanding. We can't thank Logitech enough. We're running the MPMS racing simulators in the 226 again. Some outstanding sponsorship from there. I'm probably talking about holding too much time, but you've really got to reward companies who are prepared to put their sponsorship name on the side of a sim racing car. It gets their brand out there, and I know especially so far with MPMS, they've had good success with people coming in from brand awareness, and I'd encourage any company out there that there's a lot of teams out there, a lot of good teams out there, to get on board and to sponsor these guys, because a lot of hard work goes into getting these simulator cars up to where they are, and it's fantastic that we've got Logitech, MPMS Racing Simulators, we've got GTI, Joel's Real Timing, and we've got another significant sponsor going to be released in the next week or two, so just keep your eye out for that one.
Fantastic, and that's the thing we're noticing as our esports maturing and there's more airtime going, that originally the top teams had one sponsor, but now the big teams are attracting multiple sponsors, which is fantastic to see. And I think the trend's just going to continue growing, and hopefully all the other teams will start getting a bit of sponsorship too. But as you alluded to, it doesn't just come to the teams. You've got to work hard to get these sponsors, and that's what ERA is doing, and you're definitely seeing the results, so that's great.
Yeah, it did. We put out a good sponsorship proposal. Keep, social media is such a big thing. Get everybody aware. I noticed. I only just said the other day what under Scotty Stevens, because you could see Fusion Sim Racing or Fusion Motorsports, and they're putting their brand out there more, and they got themselves a sponsor, and it's fantastic. But it's sometimes getting the sponsors fairly easy, but keeping them's the hard thing. And as we've progressed, like we used to have Maverick Welding as a main sponsor. And they had their own cars, as you probably remember, but now they still supply a certain amount of money, but they've now become a secondary sponsor, and you start running out of places on the cars. But like I said, with Logitech and MPMS Racing Simulators on board, and we're getting a new website built for free, and there's other massive incentives coming shortly, and it's just such an exciting time to be in ERA right now.
Yeah, fantastic. And before I let you guys go, I'll just see if Adrian's got any further questions for you.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. Well done, boys. Great to see the boys up there. It's once again, getting those meatball flags for those C7s is never pleasant and can cost you a race. But obviously, you're all in that same sort of boat with the C7 at the moment. But no, well done, boys. Good to see you, and hope you had a good call last night there, Brenton. I did put a shout out there to your boys, but it was fantastic last night to work with Bernie on that for the first time. So, but anyway, about this race, well done, and it was fantastic to see you boys drive well. But I'm a little bit unhappy with the way that people drove today. I think it was second-hand driving.
It's a tough track. Sorry, you go, Anthony. Yep, yours.
No, all right, thanks, Brendan. Oh yeah, for what I had, I didn't have much of a problem with my stint. That was during the middle of the day. But as I was spotting for Zach towards the end, there was a few moves that some of the HPDs could have waited and avoided us. But you know, it comes down to those last hour where everyone's trying to push, trying to make time to get those last positions up. So, but yeah, I think it just needs to be looked at, and just like it was like Bathurst, like you were saying before on the broadcast, Adrian. It just needs to be settled down. Everyone needs to just relax and make the moves done as you're going down the straights. It's just plain and simple.
But it's also a track that really sucks you in, doesn't it? You know, you think, especially turn one was a big trap, wasn't it? Like cars would go wide, but then take their apex late, and just little things like that. Yeah, we saw some really ordinary driving. We weren't a victim of it a hell of a lot. Early on we were, but certainly, the 228, that was a position-changing race event at the end, shall we say, with that HPD just wrenched over top of the curbs and into the side of the boys, and that was it for them. They were lucky to actually get out in front of the fourth and fifth cars.
Yeah, you're out there, but what can you do? Go, Adrian. Sorry.
No, you're right, mate. It's look, as I say, I think it's probably one of the most ordinary races I've seen in a long time in this championship, and well, I'll put it even back further than not just Bathurst, but probably the first race we had at Daytona last year. I think that was sort of an ordinary race. Can you play in the track? Yeah, in some conditions, but there were some sort of rules and guidelines sorted out, and I think a lot of effort, and I think it's been going on for a long time now that drivers have got to be a little bit more patient and be aware of what's going on. So once again, I'm going to be harsh today on the driving on some of that. It was ordinary sort of stuff in my eyes.
It ruins the spectacle, and it can ruin some championships. Lucky today, the two RA cars, considering the complete lack of preparation we had. We dodged bullets. But at the same time, I don't want to take anything away from that Car 200 SSR. They were exceptional all day, and they got the reward they deserved. But we still probably got the 226 in front of the championship, probably only by about 20 or 30 points. So we're still alive and kicking, and that was probably a bit of a kick up the pants for us tonight. We didn't have the chance to put as much time in the car as we want. We might start putting our head down a little bit more as of the next race and see what we can get our form back from the first three races of the season, because no doubt SSR have got a bit of momentum now.
They certainly do, and I know how strong that team is of yours, and I'm sure that you'll fight back for the next round, and I'll be definitely keen to watch that race for you guys and with the teams at SSR. So it's going to be fantastic. And before we let you go, boys, we better put out a shout out to all your sponsors again that you quickly went over, but we might as well do the whole lot all in one go. And look, be happy to watch you boys race next time in the A.
No, well, we've done the sponsors: Logitech, MPMS Racing Simulators, JRT, GTI, all really good sponsors of all. But you guys hang around every week. You spectate. You don't race probably as much as you guys want to. So the big shout out goes to Redback Racing TV for yourself, Bernie and Adrian, week in, week out, doing this for so that the people can watch it and they look back and they do watch it after the race is finished. I'm not sure how I could do that. But also to Scotty Stevens and the crew there, because without them and without the crap they're about to put up with for the next couple of weeks, this wouldn't happen at all.
Yeah, and they put in a huge effort today. I know there was only two of them up there again, and they, like at least Adrian and I, get a bit of a break where those guys, they pretty much work tirelessly, not only today, but leading into the race, as well as you said, putting up with all the crap that's about to unfold in the next week or so.
But you know what Anthony and I can do after this? We go back to our TeamSpeak channel, we talk a bit of crap, you know what I mean, have a bit of fun, and then we're done. And we're done. But Scotty and the crew, they don't do that. They just be barraged with personal messages now. So, let's hopefully things will cool down for them. They get a bit of time to have a think and go through what's going to be a bit of a mess.
Yeah, that's for sure. And anyway, guys, thanks for popping in. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. And once again, congratulations. Second and third Class B. Fantastic effort.
Cheers, Bernie. Cheers, Adrian.
Yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
So, Adrian, I think we should bring up our Class A winner, and that's Madison Down in the 177.
Sounds like a good idea.
Hi, Madison. Thanks for waiting, and congratulations taking out Class A tonight. It was a fantastic drive by Trans-Tasman Racing, and you guys got the rewards at the end of it.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. We just came into the race probably a little bit ill-prepared, so we just came in, knew we didn't quite have the car speed, but knew if we kept our noses clean, we should have a decent result. So we just tried to stay out of trouble as much as we could, and were able to do that. Finished with a nice straight car, and came away with the win. But massive thank you to Michael Healy. Did a big stint there at the start. Did a huge amount of driving. Also set the car up for us, and also Sean Kelly as well. Those two drove brilliantly.
Yeah, it was a great drive by everyone concerned, and it looked like the race definitely came towards your car as it progressed, and I guess as everyone else started having issues out there. Was it pretty much plain sailing for you guys? And if not, was there any dramas that car experienced earlier on in the race?
We had a few issues earlier on before I jumped online, I think, with a few little altercations. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we did have a few dramas early on, but we managed to keep it tidy right up until about the last stint. And when I was in the car, I was losing my patience a little bit, as there was plenty of carnage in front of me, and I nearly got involved in probably 4 or 5 accidents in the last stint. So we did have a lot go our way, but I think it was warranted as well. We didn't get any penalties, and we were taking it very easy with our passing on lapped cars. So that was our strategy: try and not lose any time through penalties, and hopefully we were there at the end. And a lot of those other guys had a lot of penalties throughout the race, and that ended up costing them. So really happy that we were able to come away with today. It was certainly a race that did go to plan for us.
Yeah, we were riding on board with you at one point when you had a hell of a lot of traffic in front of you, and Adrian called it at the time. He reckoned you were probably feeling a bit impatient by everything that was unfolding around you, but we also noticed how smooth you were and how you knew when to take risks or make a safe pass compared to just throwing it up the inside and hoping for the best.
Yeah. As I said, that's something we've really focused on in the AEC this season. Is just trying to keep our noses as clean as possible and just stay out of the trouble. So it was a little bit frustrating in that last stint because trouble seemed to keep finding me, which felt like I was driving so cautious, and just everything was going wrong everywhere I looked. So I couldn't believe it. I was pretty frustrated, but luckily, we did have 2 incidents with contact, but luckily the car was fine after both of them. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe how lucky we got there. So I think there was probably at least 5 or 6 moments in that last stint that we could have had that were race ending or potentially race ending. So it was the longest hour and 20-minute stint I've ever done. That's for sure. I just could not wait for the race to be over, just knowing that we had the gap there, but it was all just a matter of just getting home, just getting across the line. So very, very long race when you've got 40-second lead and you just don't want to have an accident.
Yeah, we thought you were driving to a number there, and at one point, but then you went and set one of the fastest laps the next lap, and it just looked very measured and very controlled driving. So congratulations on that. We thought your stint was probably one of the drives of the night, especially compared to what was unfolding on the track tonight. And I know Adrian had to go off and have a Bex after a little bit, and he's probably going to have a lie down after calling this race.
Yeah, it seemed pretty exciting, and that last stint, as you say, it was just a matter of measuring the gap. I had a little tablet up next to me showing me all the data I needed to see, and I was just managing that gap to second, and I knew I had about, I think at the start of the stint I had about 50 seconds to play with, and I knew we were pretty fine on fuel. But it could have panned out very differently. A few of the other, we weren't looking that good on strategy. We had to make a splash and dash, and a few of the other guys were going to make it home on just the one stop. So we were lucky that I think the 104 and the 188 of TTL, those guys got some penalties, and just through, I guess, the whole aggression that they were using, and got some penalties, and it basically took them out of the equation. So once that happened, it was in our court, I guess, and it was just a matter of managing that gap to the end. And I knew with a 50-second margin, there was no point taking any risks. So, things change quickly in motorsport, so it doesn't take much to go wrong and you're out of the race. So yeah, it was just a matter of looking at the gap and making sure I wasn't losing too much time, and yeah, just get to the end.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I've got Adrian up here, so I'll see if he's got any more questions for you, Madison, before we let you go.
No dramas.
Thanks, Benny. Yeah, no, Madison, not many questions, just congratulations, and I just enjoyed watching you race there in that carnage. I don't know how you managed to control yourself, but yeah, probably one of the better tries I've seen today. I'm a bit critical on what I saw out there today, but I'm sure I'm not standing alone in that, and I'm sure the forums is going to be filling up full of a lot of messages. But anyway, look, congratulations, well done. The team did a fantastic job, and it was a pleasure to watch a HPD go around the track and be so calculated and so smooth. It was really cool.
Yeah, thanks for that, Adrian. And as I said, that was our strategy right from the start. Just keep our nose clean. I mean, of course, at times you do have to take the odd risk here and there, but watching some of the other guys all season, they tend to take risks. Sometimes, probably 80%, 90% of the time, and whenever we've tried to do that, it hasn't worked in our favour. So we've really tried to drive calculated all year so far, and it was good to see that pay off tonight. I know there was probably there's going to be some questions from drivers to race control regarding various things, but I think the bottom line for us was we kept our nose clean and we were rewarded by it. So or rewarded for it, should I say? So it was a really good race. So thanks for that.
Yeah, that's all right, mate. Once I said, it was enjoyable to seeing you race there at that time. But before we let you go, you want to put a shout out there to your sponsors and your teammate?
Yeah, just big shout out to everyone who was in our channel. So Michael Healy, Sean Kelly, of course my teammates today. We had Andrew Osaya, Brock Salmon, Damien Butler. Who else did we have? We had Jason Dixon in there for a while as well. Just, not necessarily in there as spotters. They were just in there watching and calling anything they saw. And if we had any quick calculations to do, those guys were just the ones in TeamSpeak in the channel who helped us out. And that was a big help. And just the sponsors, Hybrid Racing Simulations does a lot of great work. Got a lot coming. And also personal sponsor of mine, Ultimate Karting Sydney. They're not really a prominent sponsor on this car, but those guys always support me, so thanks to everyone.
Fantastic. We'll go and spray that champagne, Madison, and I guess it's almost time for you to go to bed. It's nearly 10 o'clock.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. Catch you later.
Our final interview for tonight is Colin Schweck in the car 137 for Carnet TDR, and this was another strong team, wasn't it, Adrian?
Yeah, worked through adversity and to end up second, so not a run for those.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks for waiting, Colin, and first up, congratulations on a strong second place for Carnet TDR. It looked like you had a fair bit of adversity earlier on in the race, but it definitely came your way as the race progressed.
Yeah, we had an exciting race. We in the middle part of that race, we were 3 laps down off the leader, and we used up both our fast repairs with about 5 hours to go. And somehow we managed to get back up on the podium.
Yeah, it was definitely a good drive. At one point, I think we saw you guys running around without a nose on the car earlier today. But 5 hours with no fast repairs and getting back on the lead lap. Well, you've got to be proud of that effort.
Yeah, everyone did a really good job, and everyone put in some good times, and just the amount of penalties that were getting dealt out to the leading cars, it just managed to get everyone back into the race. I mean, I think if some of the other guys just took it a little bit easier, they would have won by laps.
Yeah, well, there was 85 penalties issued, and that includes a number of post-race investigations going on after this race tonight.
Yeah, I think we're under a post-race investigation for warming our tyres under the safety car or one of those crazy ones, but I don't think we've had any incidents that are under investigation.
No, I think that you're right there. You warming tyres under safety car very early on today. I think there was a protest put in about that. But I guess, you guys will go and see what race control's got to say about that. I've got Adrian up here, so no doubt he's keen to have a chat with you.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. Bit of hard work today. I've been very critical on driving standards today. I think today is probably one of the worst races I've seen in this series. So, how's your take on that?
Some of it was pretty terrible. I mean, we did a few moves that were a bit late, but we respected that no overtaking zone. But as a result, there was some pretty crap moves into turn 2. I didn't think we did anything too bad, but we tried to look after everyone. But there wasn't. You had to dive up after turn 1, because if you get stuck behind in turn 2, you lose 5 odd seconds, and if the other guys are pushing the limits and you don't, you end up a couple of laps down.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame the track for the way that guys raced today. I think you know the track, and I think it's basically the same old situation throughout this series. It's always been the same thing that we've seen, but it just seemed to rear its ugly head at this track, and maybe the track might have made it a little bit worse than normal, but I think this issue is discussed on plenty of times, and I think today I've seen it the worst it's ever been, and on saying that, I feel a little bit disappointed in the way it went, and it's a shame because it's a great series, and it's not something that we want to see in the way that it turns out, because it can turn messy for quite a few drivers if it's not taken on board and seen that racing, you don't mind racing, but you don't want to see silly moves which causes an incident for someone else.
Yeah, I think it was mostly due to this track. There was a lot of acceleration zones where the HPD could pull up, a quarter of the way or halfway up alongside the GT car, but the natural line for that GT car was to sweep across the track, and after 10 hours there's going to be a ton of incidents.
Yeah, but anyways, look, for you guys, seeing you get into a lot of trouble there at the start, it was seeing like one of those issues. Once again, it's just because of you guys were having issues there, and make your way back into second. It must feel pretty happy with the way that it worked out for you guys.
Yeah, well, it's the season best result for us. We've picked up a couple of thirds. The last 2 rounds we didn't do too well. We had incidents, but we still picked up 4th and 5th, and then we've walked away with the second here, so everyone's really happy.
Yeah, good. And how did the sister car go in GT3? How do they fare today? I know that Tim and the boys are down there running in the Mercedes now, so how do they fare today?
I think they came 10th in class or 9th in class, but they had quite a bit of car contact, and they drove a fair portion of the race with damage, so they didn't waste their last fast repair. So they kept going around and tried to keep competitive, but they were on the losing end of a bit of the fast traffic coming through.
Yeah, it was plenty of fast traffic, wasn't it? It was definitely something to watch and trying to see how that all panned out. I know it wasn't fun for some guys, and it was scary for others, and especially in my seat, definitely scary for watching what I was watching. But anyway, good to see you up here. Good finish for you boys, and hopefully we'll see you again on track soon. I might as well get you to put a shout out there to all the boys in the back there at TDR, and hopefully we'll see you soon for the next round.
Yeah, cheers to everyone at TD Racing. We actually put a bit of effort into this round, so we spent probably 2 nights setting up the car, which is much more than usual, and I think it paid off. We're probably the 2nd or 3rd quickest car on track when we had a bit of clear air. So yeah, shout out to all the TD guys for the hard work we put in.
Fantastic. Well, once again, congratulations. Go and celebrate with your team, Colin, and we'll see you at the next round of the Australian Endurance Championship.
Thank you.
So, Adrian, it looks like we've come to the end of our weekend broadcasting commitments. For the viewers out there, the next RRTV broadcast will be this Saturday night at 10:45 p.m. when we bring you round 2 of the Sim Racing Asia Clubman GT3 Championship. If you missed last night's broadcast, it's up there on our YouTube channel, and yeah, it was a rather exciting race as well, wasn't it, Adrian?
Yes, yeah, it was at the start. It was one of those races again, quite exciting. I'm sure we're going to get a lot more of that in that series. I think we've both been a part of that series at one stage or another, so I don't think we're going to be disappointed in the way the boys race there. So no, it's going to be interesting. A few late nights for us, and trying to back up like we did today. It was a little bit different, and trying to do it while we've got a bigger races on as well. It's going to be crazy sort of time for us.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks' time we'll have the SDRT 240 on the Friday night. That'll be backed up by the Sim Racing Asia Clubman Championship on the Saturday night. So I'll have 2 late nights in a row. But, you know, that's what Sundays are for. I can sleep in. But anyway, folks, it's that time of the night. And before we go, I'd like to thank you, Adrian, for coming in and joining me over the weekend. It's always been a pleasure having you up here and calling these races. And without you up here, it'd be me having a one-way conversation, which is never any good for anybody.
Yeah, sometimes it's not. Some people can actually have a brilliant attitude towards it and can conversate on their lonesome quite well, but yeah, in racing it's not that fantastic, is it? And makes it difficult for sure. But no, it's brilliant that you let me up here and talk all throughout the races, and yeah, no, it's fantastic. Looking forward to the next round. I'm walking away with this with head in hands, I think, and hoping for a better race next time in the A's.
Yeah, well, the next one will be, I think it's 6 hours at Watkins Glen, so it should be a little bit tamer than tonight's race. But anyway, folks, thanks for joining us tonight and today. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage of the Road Atlanta 10 hour, or the Petit Le Mans, or whatever they call it. And it's been a pleasure calling the race. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast, and we hope you can join us next Saturday night at 10:45 p.m. for round 2 of the Sim Races Asia Clubman GT3 Championship. But on behalf of Adrian Jarvis, I'd like to wish you all a very good night, and we will see you next time on RRTV.